You can drop off school supplies in the donation box located in the front lobby of First American Bank in downtown Artesia now through Friday, July 25th. Vitalent presents a Battle of the Badges blood drive at the Carlsbad Fire Department in the classroom at 401 South Halagueno, Tuesday, July 15th and Wednesday, July 16th, 10:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day. Vote in a friendly competition between departments and get a free t-shirt. To schedule your time, call 575-625-9743. To have your event listed on the KSVP community calendar, email calendar@ksvpradio.com. Please let us know at least 1 week in advance.
This is KSVP and K229 AS Artesia.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. As the search for people missing in the catastrophic Texas flash flood continues, emotional stories are emerging. This man, Michael Abner, was evacuating a Kerrville RV park when he heard screams coming from another RV.
I heard some screaming, so I went to try and help whoever was screaming, and it was an RV with a family of 5 people in it, floating, and I was trying to reach where I can grab a little girl. It was at a window, but I couldn't reach her, and she couldn't get out. So the policeman came and told me that we had to get out immediately, and there was nothing more we could do to help.
At least 120 people were killed in the flood. Officials say as many as 160 others are still believed missing. A worship service was held in a Texas football stadium last night in memory of those who were lost. 31 construction workers were rescued last night from a partially collapsed industrial tunnel in Los Angeles.
LA Interim Fire Chief Ronnie Villanueva.
It was determined that a structure failure of the tunnel lining failed approximately 5 to 6 miles in, trapping that we thought 27 individuals. 4 actually went in to rescue.
Authorities say the workers climbed over more than 12 feet of soil to reach a boring machine, and all were transported back to the one single opening of the tunnel. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says that on the way to the scene, she thought the worst.
We're all blessed today in Los Angeles. No one injured. Everyone's safe.
All audio courtesy of KABC. I'm Donna Warder.
Russia's military continues to pound Ukraine. At least 2 people killed in overnight missile and drone attacks. The strikes caused fires across the capital city. Secretary of State Rubio has met with his Russian counterpart. More at townhall.com.
Healthcare is complicated. It doesn't have to be. If you don't love how your health insurance works, maybe it's time to leave traditional health insurance behind. Take charge of your healthcare with Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM offers you flexibility. Enroll anytime, choose your own provider, and select the program that fits your needs and budget. CHM is the original faith-based way of taking care of your medical bill costs. Learn more at chministries.org/wellness.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Several provisions of President Trump's mega budget bill that were cut for parliamentary reasons could still resurface in future legislation, as Bernie Bennett explains.
House Budget Chair Jody Arrington told Politico during a news conference Tuesday that Republican lawmakers are formulating a plan to include parts of the bill that violates the Byrd Rule in future legislation. The Byrd Rule requires that all aspects of the budget bill must have direct impact on spending or revenue. Several parts of Mr. Trump's budget bill did not align with the Byrd Rule, according to the Senate parliamentarian. Arrington told Politico on Tuesday, quote, "I think we should make another run at that and look for ways to structure the provisions so that it's more fundamentally budgetary in impact and policy." Bernie Bennett in Washington.
Applications for unemployment benefits fell last week, remaining in the historically healthy range of the past couple of years. The Labor Department said this morning that jobless claims fell by 5,000. Wall Street, Dow futures are off 78 points. News and analysis at townhall.com. A new UN AIDS agency report says the sudden withdrawal of U.S. funding has caused a systemic shock to the global effort against AIDS and HIV. Years of American-led investment into AIDS programs has reduced the number of people killed by the disease to the lowest levels in more than 3 decades. The UN AIDS report, out this morning, says if U.S. funding is not replaced, it could lead to more than 4 million AIDS-related deaths and 6 million more HIV infections by the year 2029. Elon Musk's AI company said that it's taking down inappropriate posts made by its Grok chatbot, which appeared to include anti-Semitic comments praising Adolf Hitler. Last week, Musk had said that Grok had been significantly improved. However, since then, Grok shared several anti-Semitic posts. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hi, this is Holly from Nels Floral in Artesia, and we are so happy to be the new florist for the KSVIP. If you know someone who is having a special date or event, a birthday, anniversary, or something big is happening in their life, let's make them the KSVIP. On their day, we'll say something on the radio about your special person, and they will receive a beautiful flower from Nels Floral. So call KSVP at 575-746-2751 and nominate your KSVIP.
Good morning, Artesia. Hey, it is wonderful to be back with you. It is Thursday, July 10th, and I'm your host, Scott Pettis. So glad to be back behind the microphone. Got a full day today for you. We guys got the fair board coming up in the first hour. We'll be talking to them about the upcoming fair, and then the next hour we'll have the senior center coming in. And big guest today in the 9 o'clock hour, the beginning of the 9 o'clock hour. We will be talking to Michael Martin Murphy. I don't know if you guys are an old country fan, but man, Michael Martin Murphy, I never thought I'd get to actually speak to someone like him, but really excited to have him on because he's got a concert here in Artesia coming up next week, and so that's really exciting. All right. Hey, let's go ahead and get started off, as I always want to do, with scripture this morning. My studies this week, as I'm preparing for our sermon there at First Church Artesia, led me to Psalm 51 today. Psalm 51 is a Psalm of David, and this is a Psalm of confession. And so let's turn to God's Word together. Psalm 51. Have mercy on me, O God, according to your steadfast love. According to your abundant mercy, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I know my transgression, and my sin is ever before me. Against you, you only have I sinned, and done what is evil in your sight, so that you may be justified in your words and blameless in your judgment. Behold, I was brought forth in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, you delight in truth in the inward being, and you teach me wisdom in the secret heart. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Let me hear joy and gladness. Let the bones that you have broken rejoice. Hide your face from my sins, and blot out all my iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from your presence, and take not your Holy Spirit from me. Restore to me the joy of your salvation, and uphold me with a willing spirit. I'll tell you this, if you're ever looking for an expression of what you're feeling in almost any instance, there's something in the Psalms for you. Turn into the Psalms, just as the Proverbs is a book of wisdom. The Psalms are a book of songs and a book of expressions of man towards God, and absolutely amazing place to go and seek out connection with the Lord. It's this particular psalm, and I've read it countless times at this point. I think you could read it every single day, and if you listen to the words, as you're reading through it and you're thinking through your own life, you're thinking through the things that hold you back. Sin is the culprit. Sin is the thing that keeps us from being who it is we were made to be. And so those sins require confession. Those sins require repentance. And this weekend, as we're studying at our church, we're working through the stories of the post-exile Jews and their rebuilding of the nation of Israel under God's commands. And I see a correlation to our current situation in America, our current situation in this world, in that there's a need to rebuild a Christian nation. But one of the things that's so interesting about the concepts of doing that, as we search through over and over again in those books that we're studying, is we see God's first and foremost step before building into a full nation again, rebuilding the walls with Nehemiah, is for the people to turn their hearts back to God, individually and as families and corporately as a nation. So that's where we have to go. If we want the nation to return to being godly, we first must be godly in and of ourselves. We must turn to Him first, especially in repentance. And this is a psalm of repentance, a psalm of confession. And I think as we prepare ourselves and we look forward to the future, we look at the next generations, knowing our forgiveness in Christ, knowing that He came, He died on a cross, He was buried and rose again from the dead, knowing that saves us, knowing that pays for our sins. We should have a great need to want to confess to Him, to repent from our sins, and receive that forgiveness in each and every instance, and not take it for granted, not walk around thinking we can walk in constant unrepentant sin just because, well, He died, so I'm good. No, the answer is we should be convicted in every instance of everything we do against our Lord and Savior. And so as we seek and we look forward to the future and we seek to restore our nation. The word I use is reform our nation. We seek another reformation, a turning back to God and His ways. And in order to do that, it has to begin at the lowest level. It has to begin with us individually, and then our families. And as families gather together, our churches need periods of corporate repentance for those sins that we might be in. And from the church, then it spreads out for the cities, the counties, the states, the nations. This nation was formed. Many people get it wrong-headed, thinking that the state was somehow secular and separate from faith and separate from God, because we insert this concept of separation of church and state into our Constitution that's not there. The only restriction on religious practice whatsoever that exists in our Constitution is that the federal government can't choose a church. It can't establish a church. That's it. Every single state, as the founding states, all had an established church of their individual states. And that's the reason for that clause within our Constitution, is that they didn't want the federal government coming in telling their state what church would be their state church. And so there was no separation of God and state. Our founders, the people who created this nation, founded it on God. And in order for us to return back to a nation like that, for us to build upon and improve that, we first must turn from our own sins. We must turn back to our Christ, and it works out from there. All right, Artesia. Hey, we're going to check in on the weather. We'll come back, and we will dig into our menus.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot today. We're going into the upper 90s, and we should get sunshine. We do have a slight chance of shower or thunderstorm overnight. We'll be in the low 70s, more heat, and lots of sun on Friday, right around 100 for the afternoon high. For Saturday, we may get a few scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms, slightly cooler with low 90s. We're in the upper 80s on Sunday with a few showers. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
All right, look at that weather. Boy, Hobbs is getting a break today. They only have a high of 93. Roswell has a high of 98. Carlsbad 97. Artesia 98. Looking at the hourly, by noon it's going to be hot. So, stay hydrated out there. Get your work done. It's going to be 99 tomorrow. Saturday we drop back down to 91, and Sunday 89. So, kind of in a reverse of the past few weeks. We got a nice cooler weekend than we had a weekday, so it's going to be a hot week and cool weekend, and it stays in the low 90s for the rest of next week. Maybe a little bit of rain next Thursday. We'll just wait and see. All right, well, what's going on at the cafeterias this morning for breakfast over at the Artesia Public Schools cafeterias at Zia and Park Jr. Free meals. They are having Cinnamonies pull-aparts, cinnamon rolls, I guess. And then for lunch, pepperoni pizza, salad, carrots, and a fruit cup. At the Artesia Senior Meal Site for lunch today, pepper steak with a baked potato, Mediterranean blend vegetables, a roll, and a fruit cocktail. We'll be talking to our senior center later today, but just of note, they've got all-day bridge. So if you're a bridge player, they're out there all day today. Let's see. Over at the library today for the kids, Wonders on Wheels. That's going to be in the south parking lot today from 11 to 3. And then for the teens, Seashell Collage. I'll try to say that too fast. Seashell Collage from 1:30 to 2:30. And then this afternoon, crafting for adults at 3:30. And then game night tonight for the family from 6 to 7:30. Lots of fun there. And then who's got birthdays today? Let's see. Today's July 10th. July 10th. Happy birthday. Irma Corona, Rhonda Maxwell, Cheryl Blount, Yvonne Christie, Corey Hawkins, and Bill Lehman. Hey, I know 2 people on that list today. Happy birthday to you guys. All right, let's hear some commercials.
Wheelbanks LLC and Wheelbanks Trucking Services LLC has over 37 years of experience from 1987 to 2025 in the Permian Basin oil and gas industry. Wheelbanks recently divested out of the rig moving operations to focus exclusively on providing crane services to support the growing demand in the basin. Wheelbanks continues to provide quality, expert, and performance-based services to a multitude of customers, with a fleet ranging from 60-ton to 350-ton cranes and locations in Hobbs, Artesia, and Odessa, Texas. We hope that you will consider our team for projects ranging from plant builds, compressor sets, to general site build. Please call us at 575-746-6318 to find out what we can do for you. Wheelbanks LLC, your regional expert in the crane world.
Are you ready to make a difference in the lives of students and athletes right here in the City of Champions? Artesia Public Schools is now hiring school bus drivers for routes and activities. A CDL, background check, and drug test are required, but don't worry, we'll help you get your CDL. Join the team and drive our Bulldogs to success on the road and in life. Visit bulldogs.schoolspring.com to learn more. That's bulldogs.schoolspring.com. Drive the pride of Artesia.
Did you know that God values relationships? At Faith Baptist Church, we exist to begin, build, and broaden a relationship with God and with others. We want a relationship with God through faith in His Son, Jesus Christ, as our Savior. And we also want a relationship with others in a healthy biblical community. Come join us as we strive together to go from where we are to where God wants us to be. 10:30 on Sunday mornings and 6:15 on Wednesday evenings.
401 South 20th in Artesia, or visit fbcartesia.com.
Hi Artesia, Cambria here from your local KFC and Taco Bell. And boy, do I have some amazing Tuesday deals for you. If you're grabbing a quick bite for yourself, you gotta try our country fried steak meal. This includes our delicious home-style country fried steak patty served with mashed potatoes and white gravy, creamy coleslaw, and a buttermilk biscuit, all just for $4.99. Looking to feed the whole fam? We got you covered. Try our $20 meal deal. This includes 8 pieces of all dark meat chicken, large mashed potatoes and gravy, a large coleslaw, and 4 buttermilk biscuits. As always, it's great to be a Bulldog, and we hope to see you soon at your local KFC and Taco Bell.
Summer vacation is here, but just because you're on vacation doesn't mean your teeth should be. Protect your teeth this summer with a few summer tooth tips. First, drink lots of water. Believe it or not, most of the problems start with a dry mouth. Keep yourself and your mouth hydrated and happy. Avoid sugary drinks and avoid chewing on ice. Sure, it cools you off, but it's not great for your teeth. Don't forget to brush and floss regularly and dry out your toothbrush. Save your teeth for summer's sake. These tooth tips brought to you by Dr. K. Youngren and Smile Expressions. 2520 Hermosa Drive, Artesia. Coming to the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center in Artesia. Don't miss an evening with America's #1 singing cowboy, Michael Martin Murphy. Doors open at 6. Tickets are on sale now at thelibertyinc.com. Get yours before they're gone. For more information, visit thelibertyinc.com. Don't miss an evening with Michael Martin Murphy at the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center in Artesia. Friday, July 18th. Brought to you by the Liberty and the Artesia Arts Council.
Hey Artesia Bulldog fans, are you ready to unleash the spirit of victory this season? Tate Branch Auto Group is proud to stand alongside the Bulldogs as they charge onto the field, court, and track. Just like our commitment to delivering top-notch vehicles and service, your dedication and passion for the Bulldogs inspire us every day. Visit Tate Branch Auto Group today, either in person or online, because when it comes to supporting the Bulldogs, we're all in. Tate Branch Auto Group, revving up the Bulldog pride. Go Bulldogs!
All right, good morning, Artesia. Hey, let's jump into our pile of flyers and see what's going on around the community. The Vitalant Blood Drive today, Thursday, July 10th from 11 to 2:30 at Church on the Move in Roswell, 901 Brasher Road. So if you want to give blood, head on over there today. And let's see, food drive tomorrow, July 11th, Carlsbad. It'll happen at 9 a.m. at Epworth Methodist Church at 1406 West Blodgett. And if you're in Artesia, it's going to be happening at 8 a.m. at West Main Baptist Church, 1701 West Main Street. So if you know someone who needs some extra help on food, you can send them over there, or you can go over and get stuff. Let's see, America's Job Center is holding an employer roundtable tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Artesia Public Schools boardroom. It's an employer roundtable. It's a free event, open discussion, where employers will be able to share their workforce needs and challenges impacting their businesses. So if you're interested in that, you're a local employer, and you'd like to talk to the Job Center, head on over to that event. Then this Saturday, July 12th, is our oil patch market. Fun event, and I was told it was being held in the evening this week. I believe it's 6 p.m., and it's down on Main Street at the Derrick Floor. Head on over there. Tons and tons of stuff. It's always a great time. We'll be out there and enjoying that Saturday evening. Also on Saturday is the Under the Lights AHS Boys Soccer Fundraiser 5 versus 5 tournament, ages U6 to U14. So get on out there and support them. Final entries for the Wool Lead Show are due this Saturday. So final entries are due this Saturday. So if you got a young one and like to participate in the Wool Lead, remember the Wool Lead's an event where they don't have to have the animal. I've got the animals. I've got the sheep, and then all you got to do is make them an outfit made out of wool, and it'll be a lot of fun. We're having a blast with the kids coming out there walking the sheep and everything. It's a really neat deal. Today during the Ocotillo section, we won't have the ladies from the Ocotillo in, so we'll be talking to Michael Martin Murphy. But let me tell you what all they've got going on. Starting next week, 7/14, the 14th through the 18th, they're going to be having their art and science camp. That's $60. It's for ages 5 to 12. And so if you've got little ones that you would like to go do that, I know the last one was a big hit, and you can go to artesiaartscouncil.com and get them signed up. Registration is open on that. They're going to have a lot of fun. Michael Martin Murphy coming up next weekend as well. We'll talk a little more about that later in the show. But there's also JD and the Badlands Street Dance on the 19th. So that's going to be a lot of fun out there as well. The Missoula Children's Theater is coming back. They'll be back on the 28th of this month, and they'll hold auditions on the 28th and all that week practice. And then on the 2nd of August, they'll be having their performance. Remember, that's open for 1st through 12th grade, $60 per student. So and they're going to be doing Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. So if you've got littles that you would like to, I don't want to say littles, kids, children of any age that would like to get involved in that, you can go on to artesiaartscouncil.com or call 575-746-4212. VBS next week at Forever Free Fellowship, July 14th through July 18th. That's at 801 Grand, 1 to 4 p.m. each day. And they'll be having VBS for the kids. If you'd like more information on it, call 575-635-7555. Next Tuesday and Wednesday is the Vitalant Battle of the Badges Blood Drive. So firefighters versus cops, always a good time. They're going to be holding that up at the Carlsbad Fire Department classroom at 401 South Halagueno. And so you can go up there and join your local first responders and donate blood and vote in a friendly competition between the departments. You'll be given a free T-shirt if you donate during that time. If you'd like more information, call 575-625-9743. Also next Thursday, July 17th, will be the Republican Party of Eddy County meetings. The women's meeting is held at the Stevens Inn and Restaurant. Lunch starts at 11:30 a.m. and then program begins at noon. Here in North Eddy County, our meeting will be held at the Artesia Country Club July 17th at 5:30 p.m. You can come eat. Program starts at 6. Eddy County Fair Queen Contest is happening soon. It'll take place on July 19th at 11 a.m. A queen will be crowned on July 25th. You must be 14 to 19 years old, a current member of Eddy County 4-H or FFA or an FFA chapter. Must have 1 year prior Eddy County experience. If you want more information, you can call 575-703-5139. Applications are available in the fair books. And we have some up here at KSVP. I know there's some out at Sun Country, a number of other places in town. You can go grab those. The Pecos Valley Ducks Unlimited Banquet's coming up next Saturday, July 19th. And doors are open on that at 5 p.m. there at the Artesia Country Club. Tickets are only $60 a person. Youth are $30. And they have lots of sponsorship opportunities. And you can get all kinds of prizes and everything else if you do the sponsorship. And I know they got a lot of giveaways and stuff. If you want more information on that, you can log on to newmexicodu.org, or you can call Matt at 575-703-7431. Don't forget, July 19th as well, the 29th annual Weed New Mexico Bluegrass Festival. Come join the fun at Weed New Mexico for the annual Bluegrass Festival, a day filled with live bluegrass bands, food, and great door prizes. It's only $15 per person, or $30 gets your whole family in. And then don't forget the free Sunday gospel service on July 20th as well. And all that takes place at the Weed Community Building at 22 Weed Road. For more information, you can call 575-687-3316. That Vigilant Battle of the Badges blood drive is also going to be happening on July 23rd at the Hagerman High School in the Commons area. So if you missed the one in Carlsbad next week, you can go the following week and go up there to Hagerman High School and give blood there as well. Don't forget, they've got the Bulldog Breakfast coming up Friday, August 1st at 7 a.m. To welcome all the newest staff of the Bulldog family to Artesia Public Schools. If you'd like to be a sponsor for that, you can call the Chamber at 575-746-2744. And also, we still got the 6th Annual School Supply Drive going on by Written in Red Foundation. You can drop off donations at the lobby at First American Bank through July 25th. Awesome. Okay, well, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. We'll come back and talk a little bit about what's going on in the world.
With your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Sorello. A police shooting in Carlsbad remains under investigation by state police. It happened Tuesday as Carlsbad officers were responding to a report of an armed robbery at the Stripes gas station on West Pierce. The responding officers reported seeing a man matching a description given by the clerk near North 6th and West Church Streets. When the officer tried to approach 43-year-old Gerald Barron, Barron fled on foot. And during the chase, Barron allegedly reached into a backpack. The officer fired his service weapon after giving numerous commands for the man to stop reaching into the backpack. Barron has since been flown to a hospital in Lubbock, Texas. His updated condition is not known. Splash pads in Roswell at Pocorn and Carpenter Parks are now open to the public. They're open daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Use of the splash pads, of course, is free. The Murphy family splash pad is at Pocorn Park in the 600 block of East 2nd Street. And the Carpenter Park splash pad is at 300 East Buena Vista. The splash pads usually open each year around Memorial Day weekend, but the openings this year were delayed as parts were awaited and then installed to repair flood-caused damage. The repairs were recently completed, and the splash pads passed the required inspections, allowing them to open. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Here's a song for Lowell's Pharmacy, and when it's over, I'll explain why we're called the Family Pharmacy.
You and your family getting all the things you need, where personal service is always guaranteed. Prescriptions filled faster with dependability. That is why we're called the Family Pharmacy.
At Lowell's Pharmacy, we are called the Family Pharmacy. Let me spell it out for you. The F stands for fair prices and everything. The A is for accurate prescription service. M for the many professional services we provide. The I is for immediate service. L for the luxury of getting everything you need in just one place. And the Y is for you.
And that is why we're called the Family Pharmacy.
Lowell's Pharmacy, 612 North 13th, across from the hospital in the Artesia Professional Building. Lowell's Pharmacy.
If you've been on Google lately and typed in a question, most certainly you've come across the AI overview. Sometimes it nails the answer. Other times, not so much. I'm Kim Commando for NordProtect. Identity theft strikes every 5 seconds. NordProtect monitors your credit and the dark web 24/7. Save 65% right now at nordprotect.com/Kim. There's no button that magically makes the AI overview disappear, but you do have a few tricks. Say you're searching how to make super delicious banana nut muffins. Google's AI will try to serve you its recipe first, but maybe you want the best, straight from someone's grandma. Use quotes around your searches. That forces Google to pull from websites, not its AI. The second way is a little unusual. Add a curse word to your search. Instead of how to make the best banana nut muffin, say how to make darn good banana nut muffins. You want to replace the darn with any other naughty word you like. That should do the trick. Start your day with my free newsletter. You're going to love it. Sign up at getkim.com. Someone becomes a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds. That's over 75 million Americans whose lives have been turned upside down. Their bank accounts drained, credit destroyed, homes, cars, even medical benefits stolen. And you might not even know until it's too late. That's why I trust NordProtect. They scan the dark web and your credit 24/7, watching for any sign your identity's been breached. If they find something suspicious, you'll know fast before the damage spreads. You also get monthly credit score updates, so you can track changes before they spiral. And NordProtect doesn't stop there. They cover cyber extortion, reimburse you for fraud, and include up to $1 million in recovery support. You need protection, real protection. Get 65% off right now. It's my exclusive deal with NordProtect. I bet you'll save a ton of money if you switch today. Go to nordprotect.com/Kim right now. nordprotect.com/Kim.
Turpin & Son Mortuary of Artesia presents a listing of today's obituaries. We have one reminder for Blaine Smith. A celebration of life for Blaine Smith will be held Friday, July 11th at 2 p.m. at First Baptist Church in Artesia. Visitation will begin at 1 p.m. also at the church. Ty Hotling will officiate with burial to follow at Woodbine Cemetery. We have one new obituary for Patsy Ann Hull. Formerly of Artesia, New Mexico, Patsy peacefully passed away at her home in Ruidoso, New Mexico on July 5th. She was born in Paris, Arkansas to Lytle Claremont and Emma Louise Baber in 1929. She graduated from Little Rock Central High, Little Rock Junior College, and Hendricks Methodist College in Arkansas. After graduating, Patsy became the youth director at Clarksville, Arkansas Methodist Church. It was there that she met and married her husband, William Bill Hull. In 1956, they moved to Artesia. They soon joined the Methodist Church, where she became actively involved in various ministries. She was a longtime member of the Handbell Choir and dearly loved her church and church family. She was also the chairman of bereavement meals and a member of the Methodist Women's Fellowship. Patsy taught school in Little Rock and Clarksville, Arkansas, and later enjoyed teaching 7th graders in Artesia for a number of years. Her children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren were the joy of her life. She was preceded in death by her husband Bill Hull, her son Mark Hull, and nephew Mike Morrissey. She is survived by her daughter, Leslie Studds, and husband George, daughter-in-law Shelley Hull, grandchildren Christopher Sudds, Monica Solis, and husband Refugio, Veronica Samora and husband Kenny, and Kirstine Campbell, and numerous great-grandchildren. Memorials can be made to First United Methodist Church in Artesia. This listing has been presented as a service by Turpin and Son Mortuary of Artesia. We make it personal.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot today. We're going into the upper 90s, and we should get sunshine. We do have a slight chance of shower or thunderstorm overnight. We'll be in the low 70s, more heat, and lots of sun on Friday, right around 100 for the afternoon high. For Saturday, we may get a few scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms, slightly cooler with low 90s. We're in the upper 80s on Sunday with a few showers. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. A union representing thousands of city workers in Philadelphia and the city have reached a deal to end a more than week-long strike that halted residential curbside trash pickup. Nearly 10,000 blue-collar employees from District Council 33 of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees walked off the job July 1st. The value of apparel imports from China to the United States fell in May to its lowest monthly level in 22 years, according to the latest trade data, highlighting the impact of steep U.S. tariffs. China has for years been the biggest exporter of clothes to the United States. President Donald Trump met with leaders from 5 African nations as he escalates a trade war that could impact developing countries reliant on commerce with the United States. Over 2,100 senior ranking employees at NASA are set to leave. The agency has reportedly offered staff early retirement, buyouts, and deferred resignations. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Don't miss the savings this week at Fenn's Country Market in Artesia. 40-count packs of Food Club or Panhandled bottled water are $3.98 each. And boxes of Food Club mac and cheese are 3 for $1. In produce, Haas avocados are 2 for $3. And Rainier cherries are $3.99 a pound. In the meat department, boneless, skinless chicken tenders are $2.49 a pound. And family packs of bone-in sirloin cut pork chops are $1.49 a pound. These are just some of the savings this week at Fenn's Country Market in Artesia.
When was the last time a bank asked you about your needs or your goals? When you're a member of Artesia Credit Union, you get to use your money for something more important than fees and finance charges. You get to use your money for you. Membership is open to anyone who calls New Mexico home. Become a member of Artesia Credit Union today and see what your partners can do for you. North 5th Street in Artesia or online at artesiacu.org. Artesia Credit Union, member NCUA.
Looking to buy or sell a home in Artesia? Trust the team that knows this town best. Lois Oliver Real Estate. With years of local experience and a dedicated group of expert agents, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Whether you're finding the perfect place for your family or getting the best value when it's time to sell, Lois Oliver Real Estate is your hometown advantage. Visit LoisOliverRealEstate.com and let's get started today, because no one knows Artesia like we do, and we love it here.
Welcome to Answers with Ken Ham. The account of origins presented in the Genesis is a simple but factual presentation of actual events and provides reliable basis for man's worldview and a framework for scientific investigation into the question of the origin and history of life. Answers with Ken Ham is brought to you by Harvest Fellowship at 2307 West Main in Artesia. Call Pastor Ronnie Williams at 746-6195. Now, today's Answers with Ken Ham.
Is morality subjective? This is Ken Ham, author, speaker, and blogger on science and the Bible's reliability. A big problem in the secular worldview is trying to explain where morality comes from. One famous atheist once told me he determines what's right and wrong based on what I feel as a member of the human tribe. He then admitted that his feelings could be very different from someone else's feelings. But what happens if someone feels that types like him are dangerous? Should they be allowed to get rid of them? Well, of course not. But if morality is determined by our feelings, there's nothing wrong with this, and no one can tell someone else what they're doing is right or wrong. You see, only God's Word provides a solid foundation for morality.
Want to learn more about responding to the secular worldview? Visit AnswersRadio.com. You'll find answers at AnswersRadio.com.
All right, welcome back, Artesia. Hey, we're joined on the phone by Mr. Kevin Klein. Kevin, you there, brother?
I'm here.
All right, we can hear you. Hey, so Kevin's one of our fair board members, and he's coming today. He's going to tell us a little bit about what he does and what they've got going on at the fair this year, and maybe we'll just talk about a few other things. Hey, so Kevin, what I know you're on the board, so what is your position? What's your area of responsibility, I guess I should say, there at the fair board?
Yeah, so aside from the, normal or all the, fair board, of directors' duties, I also am the general livestock superintendent, meaning that, so I guess I kind of have to make sure all the livestock shows happen and hopefully happen smoothly, get judges here, coordinate with judges and travel plans. Kind of ends up being quite a bit of work, but it's very worthwhile. We work pretty hard to try to get very qualified judges with high credentials, a lot of experience. So we bring guys in from all over the country, and so it does require a little bit of planning and stuff to do that.
Wow, yeah, I guess I never really gave that a whole lot of thought. To be honest, I didn't think that portion through. It's like, do we have, are the judges local? Do they come from out? So you guys grab judges from all over the country and bring them in, huh?
Yeah, I think the closest we have this year might be Amarillo, or in the Amarillo area. We have, our lamb judge is coming from West Virginia.
Wow.
Our dairy judge is from California. Our goat judge is he lives in College Station now. He's originally from Wyoming. The other ones are sort of escaping me right at the moment, but yeah. Yeah.
So no chance of these guys being partial.
That's the thing. You get qualified guys that don't know the kids. That way, there's we just try to keep it fair, and hopefully, there's no just make it fair. These kids work really hard on these projects. They have a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of sweat equity invested, and so we like to try to do what we can to make sure everybody gets a fair shot.
Right. Yeah, so of all the stuff going on at the fair, I guess really kind of the central thing is our livestock shows and our livestock judging, because that leads all up to kind of the culminating event of the sale at the end of the week.
Yeah, for sure. So even before the fair kicks off, the livestock will all be moving in. We'll be checking in and weighing all of those things and getting classes sorted, and most of that will happen on Monday. And, of course, the fair officially opens Tuesday at noon, so all the livestock are in place for the public to come see, so we're not moving livestock around in trailers and stuff while the fair's open to the public. And then, of course, the fair starts at noon officially after the parade, which is at 10, I believe. And I'm traveling right now. I don't have the fair book right in front of me, so I'm going to be going on memory. I might get some of these times wrong. But so we kick off the livestock shows pretty quickly after the fair opening. I think the first show would be the dairy heifer replacement show, which is at 3 on Tuesday, I believe, the 22nd. And then the goat shows that evening. I think it's at 6. And then it just rolls from there. We squeeze all these shows in just a few days, and it's a lot of work and a lot of time. And then so Wednesday, I think we kick off with it's either rabbits or chickens. I believe it's rabbits.
We got rabbit show at 8 a.m.
Rabbit show, and then we'll have the prospect yearlings, and the 2-year-old horses will be shown, and then the swine show that evening. I think it starts at 5 or 4:30 or something.
5 o'clock.
And then 5 o'clock, yeah. And then rolling right into Thursday with the broilers and the poultry show. And then
we added ducks this year, right? So
we added ducks this year, yeah. So the ducks is kind of part of that's kind of part of the fancy poultry show. And then I believe cattle or immediately after that, pretty much, like right at
breeding
9
heifer
at
and
10
then market
o'clock.
cattle, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think the sheep are the last thing, which is in the evening starting at like 5 that evening. So.
Yeah, the market lamb.
Oh, and also the one that you're involved with this year. Of course, this is the cutest show on earth.
Yeah,
is the wool lead class with the beautiful ladies and sometimes young gentlemen with their ewes and their handmade outfits. That's always a really fun deal, and that's kind of not the one that qualifies
you
for
get the
sale,
fluffy
but
sheep on Friday. Yeah, because
the
the market lambs are all shaved down, so you can see, their musculature and all that. And on Friday you get the fluffy sheep and all of that stuff. So, I mean, so that's a huge piece. So you've been given a lot of responsibility. Then you carry a lot of weight on what your job is.
Yeah, I mean, it takes some time and effort, and it's fun. It's a lot, during the week, just trying to make sure the judges show up. Occasionally, flights get delayed or something here and there. Every once in a while there's an issue. We might have to move times or something, and so just trying to coordinate all that. And then, of course, as the kids are doing all that, I don't know. I think some of the public don't realize like how much goes into it, and so how much we put into it to try to make it fair and put on a good show for the kids that put in all the work. And then, of course, they're trying to qualify based on how they place for the junior livestock sale, which is Saturday evening, and that's the big reason we do this, is to reward all these kids for their hard work and when they get to sell their projects, and most of them, that money goes into college funds and stuff, and it's a great way for the kids to learn a lot, and responsibility, hard work, agriculture things, raising livestock and how that all works, and how to try to evaluate livestock, to pick out good ones and to feed them right and make them look the best that they can, and then they get rewarded for all that on Saturday evening at our sale, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll speak as someone who didn't grow up doing any of this. Married to someone who did, and now taking on these lambs. Which you were key in getting for us. So our new Southdown flock here in Artesia, thanks to Kevin. But it is a lot of work. There's a lot of effort. You gotta. The care never stops. They're like children that you've got to tend to constantly. And so I commend all these young people and the effort and stuff they put in there. And I hope to see them all rewarded as best as the city can.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of these kids forego, fun family vacations because they're so committed to these projects. So it's a big deal for them. It's a big deal for us, and we try to make it the biggest and best that we possibly can.
Yeah, if you're a fair family, you aren't just running off on big long vacations during the summer months.
That's right.
So I know with there's a lot of changes this year, and so we don't want to take it negative. We want to encourage people to bear with, but I know there's some moving of the steers and the heifers and stuff. You want to discuss that a little bit, let people know what's going on there?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I wouldn't have. But yeah, so we're in the process of building a new show barn, I think it's about 75,000 square feet, the footprint, and it's kind of right in the way. Obviously, it has to be right in the way because it's going to be the center of attention in the future. Therefore, we did have to demolish our old cattle barn. So the steers and the dairy heifers will be located right next to the covered roping arena. In what, I don't know if people are used to going out there, it's kind of like a breezeway between where the steer barn used to be and the covered arena. Yeah. And it's going to be a little bit tricky, but we think we have a pretty good plan. I'm sure there'll be some hiccups, asking the public and the fair families to bear with us while we get through these couple years of having this construction project going, but I think in the long run it's going to be well worth it. That's really the only livestock that are displaced. Some of the parking areas are going to be different or not available, but there's plenty of space. It's just maybe people are going to have to walk a little farther than they're used to. In the past, we've allowed, side-by-sides and golf carts. We're not allowing that this year just because there's really no room to park them. And so everybody get their Fitbits on. You're going to be able to get your steps in this year.
Get your steps in this year,
Yeah, we will have a couple available, I should say. I know we're going to have a couple of golf carts and and people available to shuttle those in need, handicapped, or people that had knee surgery or whatever, just people that aren't able to maybe walk the distance. We are going to have options for that, but limited options. So don't take advantage if you don't need it, please.
Right, absolutely. yeah. If you can walk, it's not that far. So what else, anything else you want to highlight what's going on that week? Anything you want to share with the public on that?
Probably something I'm not thinking of. I hope some of the other guys and gals that you've had on the radio have thought of some of the things that I'm leaving out, because I'm sure I am. I had to drive. I got up to Albuquerque at like midnight last night and I'm actually about to play in a golf deal, which is terrible because I'm terrible at golf, but it's a industry thing in the business I work in. But so I'm probably a little scatterbrained right now, but that's kind of all I got. I mean, I was really wanting to focus on livestock and that part of it, because that's kind of my gig. But if I had left something out, I apologize. But
no worries.
I think that kind of covers the most of the livestock stuff. And
okay.
As always, the Fair Board members will all be usually wearing kind of matching shirts. If anybody needs anything, public or exhibitors, just grab one of us. We're all there to help and there to serve the kids. So.
Yeah, and bear with them, people. I mean, these guys, I kind of wrangled my way in with these guys this year, and trying to deal with the concert and the wool lead and everything else, and so I wanted to kind of be there and help them out as much as we could. Bear with them, folks. These guys carry a lot of weight on their shoulder putting on this event. This thing is much more expansive than I think a lot of people realize, and we appreciate all of you guys and the time and effort, the sacrifice you guys make for us to make all this happen. So.
Yep. We appreciate the words, and it is very, very. It's a thankful job and a thankless job sometimes, but we all have fun with it.
Yeah, well, that's the nature of any public service. Is there's always going to be some people who are never happy with what you've done and what they're doing, what you're doing. But we're excited. Real quick, I'll ask on the new barn and that's just going to be a show arena in there, and that's not this year, not next year, but the year after we'll be using that, right?
Yeah. So right now the livestock are pretty scattered out, and this is all the livestock will be there. There's a show arena in the center.
So the livestock will be in the building as well. So all that'll move inside.
Yeah, it's going to be all completely enclosed, and it's going to house all the livestock for all the events as well as the show arena.
And that's awesome. And then I know there's plans beyond that, years down the line, but to basically rebuild that whole area out there, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, if we can ever come up with all the money to do it.
Yeah,
that's the
true.
plan.
That's the big part. Yeah. There's a lot of money in there. Hey, I've got one trick question, and I don't understand the question. It was given to me by Gene. Is Kevin sure about the drone?
Yeah, so my wife and Gene my wife was a guest on the radio as county commissioner or chamber director, and something came up about Gene wanting to buy a drone, and he thought it would be a good idea to fly the drone around the show ring for video, and I was listening at the time when they said that, and so I sent him a text and said, no drones in the show ring.
Okay.
I think it would be awesome footage, but I'm not sure how the livestock would handle it.
Yeah, I'm not sure they would respond all that well. So now
we don't want any kids getting ran over by spooked steers or sheep or goats or pigs or whatever. So.
Yeah, and that's a great note. Is a lot of people come out, they don't deal with livestock on a regular basis, and we ask that they come out and respect these animals and stuff, and we want them to come see them, but at the same time making sure that they're respectful of these kids and their animals and all that stuff too. That livestock barn can get pretty wild in the middle of shows. You're moving pigs up and down.
It does. There's a lot going on, and a lot of tension and a lot of nerves and excitement, and it can get a little crazy in there.
Oh, it absolutely can. Well, Kevin, best of luck on your golf today. Is it you playing a scramble?
I need all the luck I can get.
You're
Yeah,
playing a scramble?
Thankfully, it's a scramble.
Thankfully,
I
it's a
can't-
scramble.
yeah.
You're like me. Like, I don't play tournaments unless it's a scramble because by myself, it would just be a waste of my time. So
Yeah. Same.
All right, Kevin. Best of luck to you, and thanks for calling in, man. And I'll see you soon. All right, man.
Yeah, we'll see you in a couple of days.
All right, bud. God bless.
Thanks, Scott. You too.
Well, thanks a lot to Kevin. We appreciate it. Yeah, and I'm telling you, folks, that bunch of men that put that show on are under a lot of stress. So I just ask that you bear with them through the next few weeks. And all right, we'll move on to the next hour. And thanks for joining us.
This is KSVP and K229 AS Artesia.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Nearly a week after deadly floods in Texas, scores of people are still believed to be missing. Search crews continue to scour miles along the Guadalupe River. In hard-hit Kerr County, Lieutenant Colonel Ben Baker says the well-being of first responders is a priority.
We process it the best we can. We have professionals in place, our crisis intervention team. All the agencies have some members representing there.
In southern New Mexico, crews are working to clear debris from streets and homes after monsoon rains triggered a flash flood in that state. A man and 2 children were killed when they were swept away earlier this week. It was another night of Russian drone and missile strikes against Ukraine.
President Zelensky said that Russia was stepping up its terror against Ukraine and the civilians, of course. We were woken up in the early hours of this morning by explosions. We could hear the screeching of drones and also the noise of the Ukrainian air defenses. Now, Russia launched about 400 attack drones last night and 18 missiles, and they were primarily targeted at the capital, Kiev.
That's the BBC's Charlotte Gallagher. Tariffs are getting personal for President Trump. He's singling out Brazil for import taxes of 50%, not for economic reasons, but because of Brazil's treatment of its former president, who is a friend of Trump's. During a closed-door interview with members of Congress, President Biden's White House physician invoked his rights under the Fifth Amendment and refused to answer questions about Biden's health while he was in office. The House Oversight Committee's chairman said Dr. Kevin O'Connor's refusal to testify makes it clear there was a conspiracy. Wall Street, the Dow is up 46. More at townhall.com.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Senate Democrats threaten a government shutdown if Republicans pass a $9 billion rescissions bill. We get the details from correspondent Bernie Bennett.
As lawmakers begin crafting their 12 annual appropriation bills to fund the federal government in fiscal year 2026, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has implied that his party will refuse to cooperate in the process if Republicans revoke billions in funding from previous years. The Senate is set to vote on a rescissions package that narrowly passed the House in June. Republicans only need a majority vote for the legislation to pass the upper chamber. But Schumer warned GOP lawmakers in a Tuesday letter that passing the rescissions package will have grave implications, such as Democrats blocking any government funding deal and risking a government shutdown. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
The Trump administration has resumed sending some weapons to Ukraine a week after the Pentagon had directed that some deliveries be paused. Officials say the Pentagon move caught the White House by surprise. News and analysis at townhall.com. The U.S. is having its worst year for measles in more than 3 decades. Correspondent Bob Agnew has that story.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says the U.S. has had 1,288 cases since the beginning of the year. That's higher than 2019 when there were 1,274 cases, driven by 22 outbreaks over 12 months. 17 states have seen outbreaks so far this year. If things don't improve, experts fear the U.S. could lose its status as having eliminated measles. There are also large outbreaks of the vaccine-preventable disease in Mexico and Canada. Mike, the report.
A tentative agreement has been reached between Philadelphia and its city workers union. Nearly 10,000 workers walked off the job July 1st. The strike disrupted trash pickup and closed libraries. The deal still requires union approval, but trash collection is scheduled to resume on Monday. Other services will also be restored. More stories at townhall.com.
Hi, this is Holly from Nels Floral in Artesia, and we are so happy to be the new florist for the KSVIP. If you know someone who is having a special day or event, a birthday, anniversary, or something big is happening in their life, let's make them the KSVIP. On their day, we'll say something on the radio about your special person, and they will receive a beautiful flower from Nels Floral. So call KSVP at 575-746-2751 and nominate your KSVIP.
All right, welcome back, Artesia. Hey, the 8 o'clock hour. So we got one guest in this hour. We'll talk to the Senior Center here at 8:45. Until then, it's you and me, and we might bring Jeff in here for a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. A couple of things I think I missed during the first hour I want to bring forward and some local stuff. The New Mexico Coalition Against Domestic Violence is looking to rebrand. Got to say that right. And they need your vision. So they're holding a logo and color palette competition. And so they're seeking talented New Mexican artists or graphic designers to create a new logo and color palette that reflects the strength, diversity, and resilience of New Mexico communities. The prize is $2,500 to the selected designer. So what are they looking for? A modern, meaningful logo that captures the New Mexico Coalition Against Domestic Violence mission of collaboration, advocacy, and survivor-centered work. A color palette inspired by New Mexico's landscape, so desert tones, the skies, the earth, combined with purple, ensuring the colors blend well. They want a culturally respectful design that avoids appropriation of sacred symbols such as the Zia and sacred landscapes such as Shiprock. So what do you got to turn in? What do you got to produce? So you need to produce a final logo in multiple formats, print and web. Color palette guide, and if you're a person who does this, you know what they're talking about. A color palette guide with the hex and RGB values, and a one-page brand guide for integration across multiple platforms. So this is open to emerging and professional designers. You must be from New Mexico, and you must demonstrate cultural humility and regional awareness. Submissions are due July 31st, and the winner will be announced sometime after that. If you want to get in part of that, you want to be part of it, send submissions to info@nmcco.org. nmcadv.org. Again, once again, that's info@nmcadv.org. Hey, I was looking at and we'll do the weather here again in a moment, and I was looking at those temperatures going up, and it reminded me I hadn't talked about this in a week or so. I brought this up a few weeks ago, and I still think it's pertinent. I think I really want people to get active on this. Right now, there's a proposed regulation going through the New Mexico Environment Department about heat illness and injury prevention. Okay, this regulation takes a heat index chart that was prevalent, of course, for me in the military, and it looks at humidity and temperature, and it creates a heat index. And based upon whatever the heat index is, it dictates the working conditions of your employees. Okay, so this is something that would go into place and be enforced by the New Mexico government. And basically kind of like in an OSHA fashion, and if you can get a chance, you can go Google military heat index chart and regulations, right? And it lays out, if the heat index is this much or at this level, then you've got to give 10 minutes of rest for every 50 minutes of work. Already that right there for most companies, that'd be huge to give someone a 10-minute break every hour of the day. That right there would reduce the productivity of any business, especially those businesses that are manual labor outside, building houses, growing things, even the oil field work on rigs and stuff like that. But that chart continues to go up. Once you cross like 100 degrees, your heat index is over 100. It gets to the point where the work-rest ratio can become 40 minutes of rest for every 20 minutes of work. No company can sustain that. No business can do that. The military is one thing, because you can do that all day long and then work into the night and not let anybody go home because they own you. But that's not, when you're paying employees hourly, you're seeking to get the maximum amount of labor out of them during that time, and they want to get their work done so they can get home too. They don't want their work to drag on and on. And anyhow, so the New Mexico Environment Department has put this forward as a regulation, and it's called EIB 25-11. So if you'll go Google NM Environment Department EIB 25-11, it'll take you to their page, and on that page there's a link to to open comments from the community. So if you're a business owner, even if your employer worried about or an employee worried about your employer having to deal with this, let everyone know. Go in and make comments on there. Let them know what kind of impact this is going to have on our businesses, and how it's going to drive up the cost of doing business in this state. Overall, it would be very destructive to our businesses. And so we need to stand up against this. We need to go in there and put in as much comments as we can. So I would encourage people to go get involved in this, drop comments in there, and let them know that, hey, that's just not going to work for us. All right, hey, let's check out on our weather and a few commercials, and then we'll be right back after that.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot today. We're going into the upper 90s, and we should get sunshine. We do have a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm overnight. We'll be in the low 70s, more heat, and lots of sun on Friday, right around 100 for the afternoon high. For Saturday, we may get a few scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms, slightly cooler with low 90s. We're in the upper 80s on Sunday with a few showers. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Do you want to improve the appearance of your smile or increase your self-esteem and confidence? Many people have already chosen to update their smile with veneers. Here at Carabelli Dental in Roswell, we work with our patients to understand their smile goals. With veneer treatment, we can eliminate gaps between teeth, solve the problems of stained teeth, and even perfect uneven or misshaped teeth. You owe it to yourself to have the smile you know is possible. Call us now.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455.
When was the last time you had some really delicious homemade ice cream? That long, huh? Well, satisfy that craving with Ensemble Tea Treats homemade ice cream, now available at La Fonda Restaurant in downtown Artesia. Ensemble Tea is a local company, so it's good ice cream and you're supporting our community businesses. Come try some homemade Ensemble Tea ice cream today at La Fonda Restaurant in downtown Artesia.
Home health care is health care in the comfort of your own home when you cannot care for yourself. Home care services can help someone who has chronic health issues, medical setbacks, or health impairments. J&J has the best skilled nurses and therapists for any of your special needs. So why pick a stranger to care for those you love when you can pick your beloved neighbor with over 25 years of experience? J&J Home Care is here for all your home care needs. Call us now at 575-746-2892 or visit us at jjhc.org.
Attention sports fans! Come explore Carlsbad Ford's huge inventory. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, Carlsbad Ford has a huge variety of vehicles to fit your lifestyle. The best cars, the best trucks. Come find out why Carlsbad Ford is the best in southeastern New Mexico. Oh, yeah! At Carlsbad Ford Lincoln, their team is dedicated to helping you find the perfect vehicle with the best offers available. Carlsbad Ford, 2802 West Pierce, a proud supporter of high school sports.
Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest.
To be a champion, each team member must do their part to help the team win. That is true in business too. Edge Safety and Services LLC want to do their part to help your business win. They specialize in several field services: sandblasting, coating steamers, pressure washing, repairs, and cleanouts. Edge Safety also offers drug and alcohol screening and on-site services and safety trainings to make you better. Edge Safety and Services LLC, 575-736-1047. Proud supporter of the Artesia Bulldogs.
Working from home? Power up your home office with PVT's ultimate Wi-Fi experience. Enjoy pro-level connectivity and productivity with PVT's fiber internet, bringing you reliable video conferences, high-capacity file sharing, and stable Wi-Fi throughout your home. Transform your workday and become a home office hero. Visit pvt.com or call us at 575-748-1241 to learn more and get connected.
The fastest motorsport on earth is coming to Roswell, New Mexico. From September 10th to 14th, catch heart-pounding aerial action at the National Championship Air Races. Tickets at airrace.org. Don't miss history in the making.
You can sing out loud. There's a
No, I cannot. No, there's a law against that. It was enacted by my daughter at 18 months old.
Oh, okay.
We were in church, and I'm holding her. She might have been closer to 2 or whatever, but I'm holding her, and we're singing, we're worshiping, and she just reached up gently and put her hand over my mouth. I realized at that point my wife was right. I can't sing. When your toddler looks at you, goes, "Dad, don't sing."
I got in trouble the other way.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, my best friend, Robin, she used to pinch me because I would be lip syncing. You know, everyone would be singing, I'd just be like, and she would look at me, and I realized when she'd know, she'd pinch me. Jesus knows it when you're faking it. Sing, Jeffrey.
Oh, I sing in church, but it's definitely not anywhere near a microphone. I like to belt out a good worship song, but
Maybe you can do karaoke at the
Nope.
Oil market.
Nope.
No? Oil patch, no?
Oh, I saw a video yesterday, and it was absolutely hilarious. Chris Stapleton, right? You listen to Chris Stapleton? So, a local bar was holding a karaoke night or something.
Yeah.
And so Chris Stapleton kind of like, changes his appearance and stuff, and he goes in there and goes up and karaoke's his own songs. It took forever for anybody to figure out it was actually him in this bar singing his own songs to the karaoke machine.
I've seen one of those with Jewel.
With Jewel, yeah.
And they did makeup and changed and everything, and everyone was just blown away.
Yeah,
and then
it's amazing. You sound just like her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I think one person said you sound better than the real Jewel.
I have a horrible story about Jewel. I hesitate to share it because I don't like to lambast my Marine brethren. But Jewel in the 90s came to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. And she was there for a concert. It was it's an all-day concert series.
Yeah.
It's around 4th of July. That's when I figured out I don't like concerts. I don't like the large, like thousands of people. I can't do it. But George Thorogood was one of the. I think George Thorogood was coming on. I had just gone off or was going on later, and then Jewel was either before or right after.
Yeah.
So you've got this mix of Jewel fan in the 90s and George Thorogood fans, Right. And so Jewel comes on and starts singing, and somebody in the concert or in the group didn't care for Jewel, and so they slung a Jack Daniels bottle at her and hit her. And I'm like, I was like, sometimes when I realize my Marine brethren sometimes are a little bit out of control.
Yeah.
That was the end of it. She just walked off stage, and that was then the concert just went dead. And, there was nothing they could do, because she's like, I'm finished. I'm not doing this. So
that's what, at least that's understandable. When my first concert was Guns N' Roses and Metallica.
Oh, goodness.
And Metallica comes on, or Faith No More opened, but no one cared.
Faith No More, yeah. Black Hole Sun.
And they, and Metallica played a 3-hour set. Amazing. And it was at
3 hours.
It's at Aggie Memorial.
Wow.
I mean, they rocked it. And then Guns N' Roses comes on. And they went through, and, every concert they always played Mr. Brownstone is the third song. We'd already stopped the concert once before Mr. Brownstone song because Axl was throwing a fit.
Oh, yeah.
And at one point in the concert, he got hit with a plastic water bottle. And he started screaming that he was going to, and all this. And, everyone, there's still 20,000 people there, and we're like, dude. And he, the thing was, the week before, pyrotechnic blew up on stage under James Hetfield.
Oh, wow.
So the next concert is in Cruces.
Yeah.
He is only singing Guitars from Metal Church to go over for him. And, he did an amazing job, burned up in a gas. And then for Axl Rose to get out there and complain about everything. It's like, dude, the lead singer just put on a 3-hour set in a sling, burned up.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And so I think about half the Aggie Memorial, half the crowd was gone.
Just
we left
whatever.
about an hour and a half, 2 hours into their set.
Can you imagine playing music for 3 hours straight like that? That's got to be intense, exhausting.
Yeah.
So I don't understand what would compel people that you go there, you pay money, you're there, you're watching someone, and you're like, I hate you. I'm gonna throw something at you. I don't understand it whatsoever.
Like comedians, when a heckler will come on, and some of them handle hecklers great.
Yeah.
But other one, when they're like, you're not funny or whatever, and the comic's like, you paid money to come in here and
there's a comedian.
I'm making fun of something. You're upset about it. You paid money.
Yeah.
I already got your money.
Yeah. Like,
you can get up and
I already
leave
got
if
your
you
money.
want.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Hey, so I thought this might be an interesting topic. So, Bill Nye the Science Guy, who's not really a scientist.
No.
Like, what is he, like, geology? Not even, no, it's not even geology. Like, his degree he has a bachelor's degree in something. And
it's not underwater basket weaving, but it's in the same genre.
I know it's just not, like, he's not like a bona fide scientist, type guy, right? But, a children's television star. And it's hilarious. They treat him like he's an expert in everything.
Right.
Right. So he's on CNN. Yeah, CNN, the Communist News Network. And he's railing on about how RFK is wrong on the autism vaccine link. Oh, you don't know this, that, and the other thing, right? And he's like, well, you're conflating causation with correlation. Just because someone got autism, just because they got the vaccine doesn't mean the vaccine caused it. Well, which is true. Correlation does not equal causation. We know this. But funny part of it all, RFK, Bill Nye ends up blocking RFK on social media because RFK just started spamming him with all of the scientific research that shows, and I've been blown away. I've always kind of wondered about that whole deal. It seemed odd, like, you've never met a boomer who grew up with autism. Yeah, there was like, I don't know, there might have been a few autistic kids, but that wasn't a thing. Even Gen X, there wasn't a lot of us that were autistic. I don't remember that as a kid, like, oh, he's autistic, But now it's like 1 in 20 or something like that. I mean, it's a crazy, ridiculous number. So the reports are showing they did a report that got buried, that got hidden, that if a child gets, and I can't remember, is it the Hep B?
I think so.
Yeah, the Hep B vaccine within the first 30 days of their life.
Yeah.
Which, like, it's one of the ones they give them like the first couple days or like the first few hours of their life, right?
Yeah.
They're putting all these stuff in kids like right after they're born. And they showed that if kids got that, there was an 1,135% increase over the kids who either got it later or didn't get it at all. I mean, you can't say that's causation right there.
Yeah.
And so the reason it's interesting to me is, I have to watch myself because I can easily become, I could be in here with tinfoil hats on, the whole 9 yards. But this one, I look and go, there's some proof there.
Yeah.
There's some fire there, not just smoke.
Well, and another thing that I read along this and a lot of the stuff with RFK, I'm doing my own research. They've yet to find an Amish child with autism.
Great point.
Never happened.
Yeah. Phenomenal point. I mean, just and interesting. RFK points it to this is it's not just that Hep B vaccine, but it's all the vaccines that contain thimerosal. It's a mercury-containing preservative.
Yeah.
Okay. I grew up my whole life being told, don't break the thermometers because there's mercury in there, it'll kill you.
Yeah.
But yet they're putting it into childhood vaccines as a preservative. Mandatory stuff. Like, oh, your kid's got to have this if they want to be in school. Well, that answer's simple. Don't send them to government school.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want to give them, hey, I'm all about freedom. freedom of choice, right?
Right.
It's your household. Education, healthcare, all of those things fall under the household and the head of the household, right? That's their decision. That's their area of responsibility. That's their area of authority. The government, the church, no one else has the authority to go into that household and tell them how to do those things, right? And so I'm looking at him going, but I was scared to death of mercury. I thought if I ever touched it, I was going to die as a child in the 80s.
Right. You'd see it on TV of how it's and you're like, oh, I want to get that.
Mercury.
Mess with it, but no, you're not allowed to
don't touch the mercury. But here it is. Well, let's go ahead and inject you with it, but don't touch it.
Yeah. Don't touch it, you'll break it. Yeah. Now let's open up give me your arm.
Put your arm out. I'm going to inject this into you. So I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm really, I'm a big fan of I'm not a fan of RFK's other politics, his Democrat side of him with welfare and all that stuff, which he's kind of big on. But when it comes to the health side of stuff, the guys, I think he's right on a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, well, and some of the things that he has pointed out that I know you probably have, a lot of people have gone overseas, have realized that everywhere else in the world has different products, even though it's in the exact same box, the exact same brand. This is sold in Europe. We have to adjust it to these standards.
Yeah.
America, no. Let's just fill it up with the food triangle.
Food triangle.
Let's just do these things that we have created for various reasons, money, whatever. But then, and Trump discussed this with drug prices. One of the pills I took after I had to give myself an IV of vancomycin every 12 hours for 8 weeks. And then I went to an oral antibiotic every 12 hours for 8 weeks. Each of those pills was $1,600. Now, twice a day for 8 weeks.
That's insane.
And, when I first picked it up, thank God the company I work for in Ruidoso kept me on leave of absence.
Yeah.
So when they hand me the pills, I see it, and it says $40-something thousand, and my heart. And the pharmacist says, "Don't worry, don't worry, we'll have the rest of your prescription." I'm like, "What?" And then I look down and see my copay is $10. I'm like, thank you, insurance, for covering $49,900.
Meds, yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk after that.
With your Pecos Valley news updates, I'm Jared Cirillo. A police shooting in Carlsbad remains under investigation by state police. It happened Tuesday as Carlsbad officers were responding to a report of an armed robbery at the Stripes gas station on West Pierce. The responding officers reported seeing a man matching a description given by the clerk near North 6th and West Church Streets. When the officer tried to approach 43-year-old Gerald Barron, Barron fled on foot. And during the chase, Barron allegedly reached into a backpack. The officer fired his service weapon after giving numerous commands for the man to stop reaching into the backpack. Barron has since been flown to a hospital in Lubbock, Texas. His updated condition is not known. Splash pads in Roswell at Pokhorn and Carpenter Parks are now open to the public. They're open daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Use of the splash pads, of course, is free. The Murphy family splash pad is at Pokhorn Park in the 600 block of East 2nd Street. And the Carpenter Park splash pad is at 300 East Buena Vista. The splash pads usually open each year around Memorial Day weekend, but the openings this year were delayed as parts were awaited and then installed to repair flood-caused damage. The repairs were recently completed, and the splash pads passed the required inspections, allowing them to open. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report, sponsored by Abacus Global Management.
The Nasdaq hit another record high, and the S&P 500 is holding around its record high of last week. Many traders still think President Trump will move to lower tariffs than he threatened at first, and they're assuming there'll be room to negotiate. But benchmark copper prices says the new 50% tariff on imported copper would have a major economic impact on sales of refrigerators, air conditioners, and cars. NVIDIA is the first company to be worth $4 trillion in stock market value. So Meta, Microsoft, Apple, and others rose too because the tech giants are racing to build massive data centers using NVIDIA chips. A woman interviewing for a job says she just hung up on the company when she realized she was being interviewed by AI. Momentum Commerce says Amazon's early Prime Day sales were down 14%. Household and outdoor products are selling the best. More people are renting a house now because prices and interest rates are so high. There are now only half as many first-time home buyers as the historical norm. There are signs the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates, but we don't know when. With business, I'm Joe Connolly.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report, sponsored by Abacus Global Management.
What if the future of finance wasn't built around averages, but around you? At Abacus Global Management, we're reshaping financial planning around the most personal data point, your lifespan. But it's more than just insight, it's control. As a technology-driven asset manager, we're empowering investors with an integrated system to take command of your time, your future, your financial destiny. This is a new era of investing. Take control at abacusgm.com.
Weather this hour is brought to you by Bob Reed Pest Control. Protect your home from pests that invade. Find them online at bobreedpestcontrol.com or call today 575-623-5344. Serving all of southeast New Mexico.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot today. We're going into the upper 90s, and we should get sunshine. We do have a slight chance of shower or thunderstorm overnight. We'll be in the low 70s, more heat, and lots of sun on Friday, right around 100 for the afternoon high. For Saturday, we may get a few scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms, slightly cooler with low 90s. We're in the upper 80s on Sunday with a few showers. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Welcome back, Artesia. Hey, tagging on to that last segment, right? We're talking a little bit about RFK and you know, revealing kind of this link between the vaccines and autism and so on and so forth. And Jeff kind of made a side comment that I felt, you know, that caught my ear about the food pyramid, right? The food pyramid. We all grew up in the 70s and 80s. Thinking we were supposed to eat a loaf of bread a day, according to the, you know, this food pyramid. Like, you know, eat a bunch of bread, eat a bunch of carbs, and you know, of course, that of course has been fully debunked. That's not the healthy way to eat. But we can see the results of it in a lot of our shapes. You know, kind of round and pudgy in the middle. But what it brought to mind is this. One of the things I think our education system has dropped the ball on, is lacking, is the understanding of logic, right? Logic used to be a standard thing that was taught in schools, you know, forever. And I'm not sure when it dropped out of the modern curriculum. Logic is how to understand and investigate things and know what a proper argument is, you know, what a fallacious argument is. All right, so we have what are called fallacies, and I think one of the biggest fallacies that plagues our nation, plagues our society, is the fallacy of appeal to authority. What is the fallacy of appeal to authority? It basically states this. that you assert that your argument is correct because someone who is authoritative in that area said it was so, right? That has been the nature of a lot of our how we discuss everything at this point. Well, this expert said this, right? And because they're an expert, because someone somehow they become deemed as the expert on this thing, it must be true. Well, that doesn't prove that it's true. That just says that that person asserts that it's true and that they have the proof that it's true. Well, if they have the proof that it's true, then you need to argue to their proof. You know, their proof needs to be examined. Their argument on the situation needs to be examined. You're bringing a third person into the argument to prove your point. We can't do that. But like I said, that's become almost the default way of arguing anything is let me find enough experts that agree with me, then obviously this must be true. The only way to overcome this is for us to go back and teach ourselves, teach our children, teach the next generations coming up how to formulate a proper logical reasoning to support an assertion. If you're going to say that A is true, then you need to have, X amount of points that prove that A is true, not just a blanket assertion. Well, I said so, or this person said so. We can't. It's not that we can't trust. Well, I guess maybe it is. I don't know. I'm going to take that statement back. The truth is, right now we're in a position where it's almost impossible to trust the people who are called experts, right? I tell the members of my church all the time, I'm standing up here in front of you. I'm preaching this sermon. I'm giving it to you. I believe it to be 100% true, but go double check me. And if you find out that I'm wrong, come back and let me know, because I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to tell people mistruths. I don't want to misrepresent things. And so that's the way we have to begin to start to think. We need to remove emotion from our arguments. Emotion does not override facts. As it say, somebody says, the facts don't care about your feelings, right? And that's the truth of it. Facts do not care about your feelings. And one of the things I think is we've become a society willing to farm out to other people our hard work. We want to hand off all of our hard work. And one of the hard works that we like to give out to someone else is thinking critically about stuff. We don't want to go through the effort and put in the hard time and effort to read all of source material. Who wants to go sit and read the Federalist Papers? Ugh, so boring, right? We go, well, so and so said about that this guy said, right? So we're taking second and third hand assertions on what stuff is, and that's how a nation ends up in a place like ours. They don't even understand our founding. They don't understand our values. They don't understand our nation as it is, because we have failed to go back and read and understand the truth. We just appeal to experts, right? The problem we miss in that is that the experts have their own motives. The experts are sinners, just like you and I. The experts are fallible, men and women. They're not perfect. They may have got it wrong. And all of us are looking at things through a lens, right? All of us are looking at the world through eyes that are already, our lenses like a set of glasses, right? They're tinted by everything we've learned before. They're tinted by who we trust. They're tinted by what we see as the source of truth. We call this a worldview. So all of us have a worldview. And what shaped your worldview determines how you see and understand and engage with the truth. And so if you're grew up in a household and you attended schools that never appealed to God as the ultimate authority, then you're not going to see God and His Word as the authority. You're going to see the experts as the authority on all things. And so that really weakens us as a nation. It weakens us as a people and our ability to critically engage with the world and everything around us. So, all right, well, we're going to go to commercial. We'll come back and we'll be joined by the Artesia Senior Center, and we'll see what in the world they've got going on over there.
Saddle up for a celebration of the bounty of Lee County during the 89th Annual Lee County Fair and PRCA Rodeo, August 1st through the 9th at the Lee County Fairgrounds in Lovington. With nonstop fun for the whole family, including an arts and crafts showcase, the carnival, concerts, Extreme Bulls event, and PRCA rodeos, the Pioneer Iron Chef contest, as well as the livestock shows, mutton bustin', fiddlers contest, and junior livestock sale, the Yucca building exhibits, plus 4-H and open youth, the flower show, farm and garden, creative arts, the special rodeo, commercial vendors, and of course, the best fair food around. The concert series begins Friday, August 1st with the Hispanic Heritage Celebration and continues nightly Tuesday, August 5th through Saturday, August 9th. Visit LeeCountyFair.net for more exciting news and updates. The 89th Annual Lee County Fair and PRCA Rodeo, August 1st through the 9th at the Lee County Fairgrounds in Lovington. Come celebrate the bounty of Lee County. We'll see you at the fair.
Lights, camera, action. Get superhero savings during our summer blockbuster sales event going on right now at Roswell Ford. Hey Roswell, you don't need to be a hero to pay zero. Drive home a new Ford with zero down and zero payments this summer. Plus, at Roswell Ford, everyone gets employee pricing. You heard right. At Roswell Ford, you pay what we pay on our huge inventory of new Fords. Stuck in your loan or lease and want out early? Roswell Ford can get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Don't let the credit villains keep you from driving your dream car. At Roswell Ford, getting approved is a possible mission, so you can pay what we pay. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to find the best car and get massive American-made savings and the best car buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, because we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balances refinanced to new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined.
Paul tells us in Ephesians chapter 6, verses 1 through 4, of some responsibilities that we all have. Children, you're to obey your parents and love your parents. And wives, you're to be comforters and nurturers and teachers in the home. And husbands, you're to protect your family and lead your family, and that Christ is the head. Paul says it this way: children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise, that it may go well with you and that you may live long in the land. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. Is this your family? Is this the family order? If it's not, come visit us at the Hermosa Church of Christ.
Air Method's Native Air Emergency Air Medical Program has been serving New Mexico communities for over 20 years. And now we're proud to bring our life-saving air medical services to Eddy County, based at Artesia General Hospital. Air Methods is the largest air medical provider in the country, with experienced flight crews who lead the industry in key critical life-saving skills. If you need our services, you're in good hands. Worried about costs? The No Surprises Act protects patients from unexpected, out-of-network air ambulance bills. This means that if you have private health insurance and are transported by an out-of-network air ambulance provider, you are only responsible for your in-network copay, co-insurance, or deductible. No membership required when you fly with Native Air. Learn more at airmethods.com. That's airmethods.com. Copays, co-insurance, and deductibles are set by insurance providers, not Air Methods. Terms and costs may vary. Contact your insurer for details.
Don't come out here no more. Can't
All right, welcome back, Artesia. So we're now joined in studio. How are you this morning, ma'am?
I'm doing well.
What is going on at the Senior Center? You say, I asked you that earlier. You're like, it's kind of slow.
Yeah,
there's got to be stuff going on.
Yeah, no, there's always stuff going on, just our usual stuff. So today we have our painters will be there. They get there around 9 o'clock, and then they're usually there for the morning till like 11. And sometimes they'll come back after lunch, just depending what they're working on. So if anybody's interested in painting, you can come on down.
Yeah.
Our line dancers will be there at 9:30 as well. So if you're interested in learning how to line dance, you can come check it out. They can teach you their different dances.
Yeah, I won't be doing that one.
Yeah, I was like, I haven't mastered that one either. And then, of course, this afternoon we have our Swedish weaving with our sewers. And we can't forget we have poker or Texas Hold'em starting at 2 o'clock. And then we have our stained glass as well today. We have a class at 2:30, and then they come back in the evening at 6:30 and do a class too.
Yeah.
So if anybody's interested in stained glass or just want to come check it out, they'll be there at 2:30 and then again at 6:30.
Stained glass is fun. I think I've said it before. I used to love doing that in high school.
Yeah, so they got that going on today.
So how serious do those Texas Hold'em games get over there? Do they get into them? They get pretty intense?
They do get pretty into it, yeah. So it's like some days they do get real into it.
Yeah.
So some of them are pretty competitive.
Oh, man.
It just depends.
So.
And then, of course, we have our dance tonight, and it'll be Cibolo Springs playing. That's the doors open at 6, and the music starts at 7 to about 9:30. Yeah, and then just like finger food. So if you just want to bring some snacks with you, you can enjoy some snacks and some music and
you keep your energy up while you're dancing.
Yes,
a lot of
definitely.
dancing.
Yes, lots of dancing. And then, of course, on Friday we have our Hand, Knee, and Foot, which is the card game.
Yeah.
And then, of course, bingo. Can't forget about bingo at 1 o'clock.
Bingo.
Yeah. No,
how long does that normally go?
So usually it just kind of depends on like who's calling or how it goes, because typically they have like they can play up to 10 games, or they have like 10 prizes.
10 rounds?
Or 10 rounds.
10 rounds,
10 rounds. But if more than one person bingos at a time, then it kind of shortens the time. So usually they're done about by 2:30 or so.
Okay.
And then they have
bad.
like 3 blackout round as well. So with like 3 rounds.
Oh,
So it just depends basically how many people bingo at a time as far as like how long it lasts.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
They basically play until they're out of prizes.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. In a sense, yes.
Play
basically,
until we're out of prizes.
Yeah, that's basically how it goes. That'll just determine how many games they play or not.
Yeah.
And then
Saturday.
Saturday.
Cibolo Springs again.
Yeah, Cibolo Springs again, and they'll be having a potluck. And also, don't forget, the Moose Lodge will be having their lunch at 11 o'clock. They're supposed to be having sloppy joes, steak fries, and a cupcake. So you can definitely go check that out for lunch. And then if we move on to next week, on to Monday, of course, we have our woodworking, and it's from 8 to 10. And then we also...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see that. So woodworking up top says 8, down here it says 9.
I know, and I just realized I made a mistake on that. I know, I just realized, I was like, oops, typo, I made a mistake on that. So it is actually 8 to 9. I did make a mistake on the calendar, and I put 9. But he'll be there at 9, but he'll be only there for an hour at that time.
Yeah. So 8 to 10. So 2 hours of woodworking.
8 to 10.
You got a number of people taking advantage of that yet, or since it's kind of a new thing?
So far, there's only been a couple people who came in to take advantage of it so far. So hopefully we can get some more people in.
Get in there and make some cool stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So, and then we are going to Golden Corral next Tuesday, the 15th. It is full as of right now, but if you're interested in going, definitely call to sign up, because we can put you on the wait list. So if anybody cancels, or if we get enough people for a second van, we can definitely take a second
8 more.
van. We have to at least have 8 more in order to take a second van.
So get a bunch of your friends together.
Yeah, and go to
you guys
Golden
can get a second
Corral.
van, and everybody can go to Golden Corral and eat all you want.
Yes, definitely eat all you want. And they typically leave around 4:30 to go eat, and then just depends on how long everybody takes to eat as far as what time they get back.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, of course, on the 16th, on Wednesday, we have Howard will be here from Here on Earth, and he just does hearing tests. He can clean hearing aids. and
Yeah.
all that sorts of things. And really, that's kind of
Yeah, you never really think about that, like taking care of one of those. They're tiny little bitty,
Yeah, you
little
have to
bitty
have, like, the
things.
little
you know,
tools to
like you got to
clean
know what
and-
you're doing on those
yeah,
deals.
those stuff like the
Those things are
dust
expensive
and-
too. If
Yeah,
you ever
they
saw
are.
how much hearing aids cost?
Yeah,
That's
they're very
crazy.
expensive.
I was like, wow.
To get into all the little nooks and crannies of them to clean them out.
Yeah. How did the casino day go?
So it was good. They took a whole van. They went
Yeah.
to the Inn of the Mountain Gods, and they
Yeah.
enjoyed that. I know they did have to leave a little bit early because of the flooding and all that.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I was like, so
Yeah.
they did make it up there.
Yeah, so they did, and
but
they
then
made
the
it back.
flooding started.
safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they made it. They left a little bit early, so they made it back, or they made it out of there before any of the
Before any
flooding
real flooding
started.
happened. Okay, good.
Yeah. So thankfully,
Well, that's glad to I'm glad
yes,
to know that.
they all made it
So,
home safely.
'cause that was man, that's tough.
Yes,
Poor
definitely.
Ruidoso, man, they're just taking it, like crazy the past couple of years, and it's such a beautiful place up there. So did anybody win it big?
I heard there was a couple people who won like 500 and like maybe like 700. So I think there was a couple good big winners there who went.
Do a lot of them actually go up and like play the card games, like the gambling and stuff, or is it just
I think
a
majority of them
where
just do like the
slots,
slots machines.
play slots
Yeah,
and just sit there
I
and
think
keep feeding the slot
I think
machine,
they like
trying
the
to
slot machines.
Yeah. It is
Definitely.
relaxing. You sit there and have a drink, and
Yeah,
play the slot
play
machine, and just kind of hang out.
Yes.
I think I said it last time too. It's like, even if you don't go gamble, just sit there and enjoy the view,
the
man.
view.
That place
Definitely.
is amazing.
Yes, you can always just
So-
enjoy the view.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, what's on the back? Is there anything coming up? Is there already did the birthday dinner this month?
We did, yeah, we did that
Did
early
do
this
that early in the month and out to
so-
eat. So if you got some friends, get them together.
Yeah, to sign up.
And go get lunch this weekend at the Moose. You can have a full day on
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yes, you could.
Go to the Moose Lodge, get your lunch. That evening, you can go downtown and go to the. They have the oil patch market.
Oh,
and then go direct from the oil patch market. Go dance. Then you
definitely.
can have a big party day on Saturday.
Yes.
So lots going on. But
And then we're open Monday through Friday. So Monday through Thursday it's from 8 to 5, and then on Fridays it's 8 to 4. So if anybody wants to come and they want to tour the facility, you just have to be at least 50 years of age or older to sign up, and then
Yeah.
we can give you a tour. We have a really nice exercise room, and like I said, we have activities all day, every day.
there's always something.
Yeah, there's
going
always
on
something
up there.
going on. And even if you just want to come in and visit, we always have tea, water, coffee, free Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So there's always something going on. If you just want to come check it out, like I said, we can give a tour and kind of explain and show everything that goes on.
Oh yeah, and don't forget about so if you're a musician,
Oh yeah.
the jam session. So
Yes.
there's no band lined up for the dance on the 26th.
Yes.
So if you're a musician and you want to be a part of that,
Yeah,
You-
you can just give us a call at
contact
the
the
Senior
office.
Center. Yes.
Yeah, so 575-748-1207. Get signed up to be, hey, go display your musical talents.
Yes, definitely. They would
So-
enjoy that.
Yeah. Awesome. What else do we need to let people know about going on over at the Senior Center?
So on the 23rd, we are planning to go to the Eddy County Fair. So if anybody's interested in wanting to go to the fair, we are going to be taking a van out. So if
Okay.
you just want to call to sign up, like I said, you can go to the fair and check out all the exhibits and probably eat some lunch out there.
Okay. So are you guys going around picking people up for that and then taking them out
so
there?
we
or-
can. So we can either, as long as they live within the city limits, we can
yeah.
pick them up and take them. Or if they want to come down to the center, we can leave from the center and take them on a van that way.
Okay. And so how long are you guys, what's the plan for how long you guys are going to be out there? You're going to go out there at 10 on Wednesday.
I think they'll probably be out there a couple hours. Like I said, I know they'll probably just go look at all the exhibits because we usually have a lot of the seniors who put stuff into the fair, so they just check out the exhibits.
Yeah, walk
and
through the
then-
exhibit building. All
yeah,
the vendors.
and
Go
the
get all your
vendors.
freebies from the
Yeah, and
vendors.
then-
Buy a few things.
And then if they want to eat lunch out there, they can eat lunch. So I would say they'll probably be out there at least a couple hours. I don't think there's really like a set time. Just basically, I think when they're ready to go is when we'll leave.
Yeah. And at that time, there will be the horse shows will be going on at that
nice.
time.
So, yeah, if they wanna check that out.
Yeah, if they're interested in checking out the horse shows and stuff, that'll be fun out there. So yeah, get signed up for that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so you can get and you guys will pull right up to the door. You ain't got to park way out in the.
Oh no, we'll drop them off.
So if you're wanting to go to the fair and avoid all the traffic or avoid having to park way out, I mean, it's good. Parking's gonna be crazy this year.
Yes.
And so if you want that free ride up there, get dropped off at the door, picked up at the door,
There
you can go check out stuff. There's air-conditioned buildings. The blue building's air-conditioned up front. Over in the white barn, where we have swamp coolers, and it stays decent in there, but it's not too hot. And so go check that out. Maybe watch some of the horse show and stuff like that.
Yes,
so
definitely.
that'll be lots of fun. All right. Well, let's make sure we didn't miss anything on here. But so that fair's coming up that next week. Dances tonight and this Saturday, and all right.
Yeah, I think that's about all for this week.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Lots going on, but
yeah, it's one of those things when you're in here every week. You're like, well, here's kind of what's going on and stuff. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for coming in. Thanks for all the hard work over there. If people want to contact you guys, get more information, they can call the office at 575-748-1207 or the website, which is.
It's just the city of Artesia.
Okay, that's right.
.gov. I think it's like artesianm.gov.
Yeah.
And then there will be you can go into the departments, and then it'll say senior center, and then you can click on our link.
That's great. So they can get on there. All right. Well, thanks so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful week, and God bless. And Artesia will be right back after this break talking to Michael Martin Murphy.
This is KSVP and K229AS Artesia.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Search crews and volunteers in Texas are still looking for the more than 160 people still believed to be missing from the July 4th flash floods. The death toll has risen to at least 120. Andrews County Assistant Fire Marshal Jeremy Proffitt says North American neighbors are helping in the search for flood victims.
We have crews from Mexico here. We have crews from Canada that have come in and are assisting us. And every week it'll be cycling through. Every day we see cycles of different departments coming in.
Trash pickup in Philadelphia should be resuming next week after the city and the workers' union reached a tentative agreement. More than 10,000 workers went on strike last week. More bloodshed in Ukraine as Russia's military continues to bombard the Ukrainian capital.
The sound of a Russian missile pelting towards Kyiv was caught on camera by an AP reporter. Russia pounded Ukraine's capital with another major missile and drone attack overnight into Thursday. The strikes caused fires in areas across the city, killing 2 people a day after the heaviest aerial attack of the 3-year war so far. I'm Karen Shamaz.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. and Russia have exchanged new ideas for Ukraine peace talks after he met with his Russian counterpart in Malaysia earlier today. He said they discussed a new and different approach, although he did not elaborate. Rubio said President Trump has been increasingly frustrated with Russia's Vladimir Putin. Last week, the Pentagon paused the delivery of some weapons to Ukraine, but now President Trump has directed the resumption of sending military assistance. Officials say the White House was caught off guard. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-226-5454. That's 800-226-5454. 800-226-5454.
Job scams are on the rise.
As job seekers look for work in a challenging environment, an increasing number are falling victim to scams that promise good pay for completing easy online tasks. The Federal Trade Commission says the scams start innocuously, often with a tailor-made text or WhatsApp message. The tasks seem legitimate, but victims are then told they need to pay money to access their earnings. To avoid falling victim to these scams, ignore unexpected messages, never pay to access your pay, and avoid accepting positions where you rate, like, or leave phony reviews for products or services. Keith Peters, Washington.
The Los Angeles Fire Department says 31 workers have been safely removed from an industrial tunnel after part of the structure collapsed. The workers were up to 6 miles away from the tunnel's only entrance. Officials in L.A. say no one had major injuries. News and analysis at townhall.com. Robot umpires are set to make their in-season debut on one of baseball's biggest stages.
Major League Baseball plans to use its robot umpire technology for ball strike challenges in Tuesday's All-Star game at Atlanta. Another step toward possible regular season use next season. Teams won 52.2% of their ball strike challenges during the spring training test, with 617 of 1,182 challenges successful in the 288 exhibition games using the automated ball strike system. An animation of the pitch was shown on video board showing spectators the challenge results. I'm Geffen Coolbach.
Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops getting a brand new owner. Italian candy maker Ferrero is buying W.K. Kellogg in a deal valued at about $3 billion. The Michigan-based cereal company has been an American icon for more than a century. More at townhall.com.
Hi, this is Holly from Nels Floral in Artesia, and we are so happy to be the new florist for the KSVIP. If you know someone who is having a special day or event, a birthday, anniversary, or something big is happening in their life, let's make them the KSVIP. On their day, we'll say something on the radio about your special person, and they will receive a beautiful flower from Nels Floral. So call KSVP at 575-746-2751 and nominate your KSVIP.
All right, welcome back, Artesia, our third hour, 9 o'clock. It's Thursday, July 10th. I'm your host, Scott Pettis. Hey, we're waiting for a phone call. As soon as we get a phone call here in a little bit, we'll be talking to Michael Martin Murphey. And I don't know, as a kid growing up, I mean, Wildfire was, of course, like one of those songs that just was iconic as a kid growing up, listening to the radio. And so I'm really excited about talking to him. I'm excited about the concert next week, so that's going to be great. Lots to look forward to. This is just a wonderful time of year. So much going on, coming into the fair week, and the Ocotillo, the ladies do just a phenomenal job up there, man. Just bringing in all kinds of acts and art and everything, and so we really appreciate everything they do, and truly enjoy it. So like I said, be a few minutes here, we'll be getting a phone call from them. In the meanwhile, I'd like to highlight a few things, and of course we'll talk with this about with Mr. Murphy about it. It's 50 years anniversary of the classic million-selling pop country song "Wildfire," and if you ain't heard it, if you're not one of those people that's ever heard of him or anything, I just jump on YouTube, go listen to some of his music. He had an amazing influence on country music and just the music scene in general, all through the 70s and 80s. And a lot of his stuff, he's a cowboy. He's a genuine cowboy, and great influence. He was. He was. I found out something today. I'm reading the bio. I'm going through stuff, and I was kind of interested in the fact that he's really kind of the mover behind the outlaw country of the early 70s. They had a movement in the Austin area called the Cosmic Cowboy. Jerry Jeff Walker, him, and Willie Nelson and stuff all come out of that, and then that kind of gives birth to the outlaw country movement, which one of my favorite genres of music, to be honest with you. I love listening to outlaw country, and so to know that he was, I didn't really think of him as part of that, but the fact is he kind of gave birth to it through his music and stuff at that time. But he's well known especially in trying to preserve the Southwest, the cowboy. I don't know, motif. I don't think that's the right word, but the history of the cowboy, the history of the Southwest and our country way of life and stuff. And so it's really neat to see all the stuff he's done in that. And so as soon as we get that call, we'll take it and we'll talk to him. But hey, Artesia, I'd like to, so this concert's being put on by, there he is. I'm going to go to commercial and we'll be right back.
Weather this hour brought to you by Southwest Bearing under new ownership. Custom solutions for your heavy equipment, hydraulic hoses, hose repair, bearings, seals, sprockets, belts, tools, fluids, and fittings.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot today. We're going into the upper 90s, and we should get sunshine. We do have a slight chance of shower or thunderstorm overnight. We'll be in the low 70s, more heat, and lots of sun on Friday, right around 100 for the afternoon high. For Saturday, we may get a few scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms, slightly cooler with low 90s. We're in the upper 80s on Sunday with a few showers. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Welcome back, Artesia. We're now live on the air with Mr. Michael Martin Murphy. Sir, how are you doing this morning?
Man, I'm just doing great. I'm in New Mexico, up here in the high country.
For the
beautiful. Next few weeks, and yeah.
That's.
But I'm coming down there.
I know, we're excited.
The High Plains.
Super excited, sir. I was gonna say it's an honor to speak to you. As a kid growing up, listening to your music, I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be on the air talking to you on a radio show. So, absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today and letting us know what you've got going on.
Oh, I have a theater up here in Red River.
Okay.
Where I play twice a week during the summertime. And it's been really going great this year. And I also have done some off-board shows going up to Colorado, and Artesia's one of the others. But I'm here until September the 6th when I play at Michael Hearn's Big Barn Dance, and then I'm headed back to Texas. So I never miss spending 3 or 4 months a year in New Mexico. However it happens, I just got to do it.
That's great. I'm glad to know. I don't think I'd realized your connection with our state, and I'm glad to know that that you're fond of us down here.
Well, I love the people. One of the rules I've learned, not rules, but maybe guidelines that I've learned in the 80 years that I've been on this planet, is that one of the best things for your life is to hang out with people that aren't like you, that aren't exactly like you. What I love about New Mexico is that there's Hispanic people around, there's Native Americans around, and all kinds of other groups that have been attracted to this place since the frontier of New Mexico. And it's also got the deepest roots historically in America. I mean, you think about the length of time the Native Americans, who are still very active in New Mexico, have been here, and then you look at the conquistadores coming in here in the late 1500s, towns that were, founded in I think Taos was founded in 1680.
Yeah.
Santa Fe Trail was around before Santa Fe, and the Santa Fe Trail was around early too, and that town is back then it was kind of an Indian trading route. Yeah. I love all that history, and I love being exposed to all kinds of different religions and philosophies and stuff. It really makes me happy to do that.
It is a culturally diverse and historically captive state. It's absolutely amazing, and that point that you talked a little bit about Santa Fe Trail. You've got a new album coming out, and it's titled just that, right? Santa Fe Trail?
It's called the Santa Fe Trail, subtitled Chasing the Big West. It's a book and an album.
Okay.
The album is inside of a book, and we'll have some there when we're in Artesia, or you can get them online through my website, michaelmartinmurphy.com. It's a project I did with two Texas poet laureates who now live in New Mexico over in Raton, Carla K. Morton and Alan Berkelback. Both of them have been picked as poet laureates. They're also in the Texas Literary Hall of Fame, along with, and they got me in it somehow. I don't know how that happened.
Everything doing with Cowboy, though, has to involve you, though. They got to... So...
The Texas literary thing is Larry McMurtry's in there, and a lot of Texas writers, J. Frank Dobie, and all those people. So these are people that I think are very creative. They called me up and said, "Would you be willing to set some of our poems to music?" And I said, "Well, I may have to, squeeze them around a little bit, mess around with them a little bit to get it to fit into what I think is going to work for a song, because poets sometimes use a lot of words and stuff that just regular country music folks and pop music folks just either they can't hear it. It's just not something that flows well.
Right.
Or I'm not saying they're going to understand it. That's talking down to your audience. Yeah. I've always talked up to my audience like they're really smart, but sometimes just using the word. Using a simple word is better than using a poetically picked word. So I did all that. I did 9 songs that I set to music, and I also had some input on the lyrics. And we put that out as a book. It's doing extremely well. It's just another way we can package things. In talking to young people at my concerts, the thing they seem to miss the most is it's a digital world for them, and they like packaging. Yeah. So, people that download all their music will come up and buy a vinyl. They'll come up and buy an autographed CD. They're getting back into CDs. They're getting back into CD players.
Now, that one I did not know. I did not know people were getting back into CD. Well, I guess I can because my daughter, she's got a pretty good collection of them too. So, but that's neat. So this is a big year for you. 50 years since your huge hit, Wildfire. Of course, that's a song as a young man growing up in the 70s and 80s I absolutely adored and loved. And so what's plans for celebrating that this year?
Basically, we're just doing concerts to celebrate it. We're making a big effort to have some original vinyl there of the original album, Blue Sky Night Thunder, which we do have there, and then lots of different versions of Wildfire. are available to the public. We have special shirts with a white horse on the front celebrating it. And in some venues, we're actually running the Wildfire movie that's coming out in September. I've got permission to run it. We're not going to be able to do that at the venue in Artesia. They don't have quite the screen and projector set up that we need for that. But so we've been running the film in some places. We recently ran it in front of a concert in Kent, Ohio, and had a great turnout and a great response. So the movie is coming out in September. It's called Wildfire. Wildfire, The Legend of the Cherokee Ghost Horse. It was all filmed on the Cherokee Reservation up in Oklahoma.
Wow.
And it's really got a. I'm in it, and Moses Springs Plenty from Yellowstone is in it.
Oh, wow.
And Chevelle Shepherd, who is a New Mexico girl who has she won The Voice back in 2018, and this was her first movie. She just moved into that thing and did it like she'd been acting for her whole life. She was 16 when she started doing the role, and she did a great job. She only acts in it, but she does sing on the soundtrack.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of things going. There's some other really exciting things coming up that I can't even reveal right now. There's one really big thing happening in the fall that'll be revealed later, but just keep watching my website and you'll see this is huge for us, what's about to happen. So
that's awesome.
I'm excited about coming down there. I hear they did a really nice remodeling job on that theater.
They did. It is really amazing everything they've done and changed that up. And I'm gonna see. Have you been here before?
I played in Artesia before. I actually played with a symphony down there one time.
Wow.
The New Mexico Symphony came to Artesia and we played there. I forget what the venue was.
Okay.
It might have been the high school or something.
Yeah. Wow. That's neat. I gotta take a little, since I got a chance, got you on the radio. I would love to hear. So I just learned about the Cosmic Cowboy movement. I had no idea that was kind of behind the outlaw country. I'm a massive outlaw country fan, and so if you don't mind, can you tell us a little bit about what was the Cosmic Cowboy movement? How did it lead into that with Willie Nelson and Jerry Jeff Walker and those guys?
Well, I moved to Austin in about 1971, right in there, and neither Willie Nelson or Jerry Jeff Walker or any of the rest of the guys that are associated with the movement had moved there by then. And I just started calling my friends. I've known Jerry Jeff Walker since way before that, going back into the 60s. And when he was living up in Greenwich Village, New York.
Oh, wow.
And I went up there on business when I was a songwriter working for Screen Gems and living in L.A., and I went up there on business to meet with Don Kirshner, who became my mentor in the publishing part of the world. He got my songs out to a lot of artists. And What Am I Doing Hanging Around was a song that he placed with the Monkees, because Screen Gems controlled the Monkees TV series.
Yeah.
And so that was, I went up there to meet with him about all that. And Jerry Jeff, I had met at the Rubaiyat in Dallas when I was like a teenager. Jerry Jeff used to come down there. He's was 5 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And so he'd come down there. We got to be good buddies. When I got to Austin, I just said, Jerry, you gotta come down and check this out. He was still living in New York at the time. Then he moved to Miami, actually down into the Keys in Florida, because he'd become good friends with a couple of people down there. This is before Jimmy Buffett got down there.
Oh, wow.
And so at that time, the people that were hovering around Austin, I invited Jerry Jeff, called another couple of friends like Jerry Jeff's strong friend, friends that were songwriters down there like Towns Van Zandt and Guy Clark. And so I invited them all to just come check it out. We were playing at different venues around Austin. It was just amazing how eclectic it all was. And then one day I'm playing a show in a place called Mother Earth in Austin. We were doing, whatever you want to call it. It was basically hippie country music that nobody would listen to in Nashville. Like the Flying Burrito Brothers.
Oh, wow.
I was part of that movement in California. So everybody said that whole movement started in Austin, but it really didn't. It started in L.A.
Okay.
And I remember that in 1975, Wildfire, Thank God I'm a Country Boy, and Rhinestone Cowboy by Glenn Campbell were all on the pop charts at the same time, and were not getting any airplay on the country charts. This is in 1975. So I'd already been in Austin a few years by then, and by then I'd moved to Colorado. But just to kind of tell you the origin of it, John Denver was more associated with California before he moved to Colorado.
Right.
When I first met him. So there was all these people that loved country music that didn't necessarily fit into the Nashville niche. And I called them Cosmic Cowboys because they had a big worldview. They were writing some really poetic lyrics that were much more interesting lyrics than what you were getting out of Nashville, which had become very formalized and a very metropolitan version of country music. The people that moved in and around Austin and who were also operating out of California back then are people that had moved back up into the mountains in the time of the Mother Earth catalog, the Whole Earth catalog being a big influence on a lot of people dropping out of the city and moving into the country. But I didn't want to move into the country to do what a lot of those guys were doing, which is just an excuse to grow some marijuana. I wanted to actually be involved in agriculture, so I moved back to Texas because I'd been raised by agricultural people in Texas and ranchers.
Yeah.
And those guys all loved country music and cowboy music. So there's kind of a nexus of things that just begin to develop there. It was a whole beginning of a movement of people beginning to move in there. And that's why I called them Cosmic Cowboys. Originally, Cosmic Cowboy was written by me for Jerry Jeff Walker kind of as a satirical song. Because back then the word cosmic was kind of a word for spaced out, kind of a expanded consciousness kind of a person, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And we were in Greenwich Village, actually, playing up there in one of those famous coffee houses in Greenwich Village. I can't remember the name of it. But I heard that Jerry Jeff Walker was going to stop by. This is when Geronimo's Cadillac had just come out.
Okay.
And he was going to come down and listen to us. So was the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Yeah.
So I wrote this song on the back of a napkin from the top of the Holiday Inn in New York City and went down there that day, got the napkin out. When Jerry Jeff walked in, we sang the song Cosmic Cowboy for him. And Jeff Hanna of the Dirt Band happened to be there recording everything on a cassette tape recorder that night.
Oh, my goodness.
And he went, and as soon as my record, Cosmic Cowboy, came out, the rule is once the song came out the first time that it was automatic license for anybody to record it as long as they paid royalties.
Yeah.
The Dirt Band goes out and records it and has a bigger hit on it than I do. They did the same thing to Jerry Jeff, But Jerry Jeff Walker's big Mr. Bojangles came out.
Yeah.
The Dirt Band went in and recorded that and had a #1 pop song with it.
Oh,
I just want to emphasize that all of our crossover country music, when I say crossover, it really wasn't even crossing over. It was country music that got played on the pop charts, but not by the Nashville country radio stations. Yeah. But later on, it just got out of control. Nobody could stop it. Willie Nelson, myself, Guy Clark, Waylon Jennings, Jimmy Buffett was in Austin before he moved to Florida.
Yeah.
All these guys were living in and around Austin, Towns Van Zandt, and it just exploded. And all of a sudden, the whole world was focused on this. What really kind of made it happen was Willie Nelson wasn't the first man there, but he was the first one to pick up the football and take it all the way through the goalpost by putting on Willie's 4th of July picnics.
Yeah.
and a couple of events before that called Dripping Springs Reunion.
Okay.
And that drew thousands of people right there in Austin. The one in Bryan, Texas, in about 1976 that he did, just went through the roof. There was probably 30,000, 35,000 people there at that event.
Wow.
All of a sudden, Midnight Special comes down and wants to cover the whole thing, and then it just exploded. There was this big scene in Austin. The origins of it were, the early days in Austin, the people that bailed out of California and other music centers because they didn't have the right kind of country music for Nashville, and they didn't have the right kind of country music for Texas even. But then the progressive country radio stations like KOKE started in Austin, and it just exploded. I called them Cosmic. The first album that was called Outlaw, by the way, was made in Oklahoma.
Okay.
It was called The Outlaws, and it was Waylon Jennings and some of the Glazer brothers.
Okay.
And Willie Nelson and all got and the gal that married Waylon Jennings. God, how can I forget her name now? I'm Not Lisa. She was on that show too, and they actually called the album The Outlaws.
Yeah.
And so the outlaw movement actually started in Oklahoma when they first started calling them. And Willie Nelson never really liked it, and neither did Waylon. I didn't like the word outlaw.
Okay.
We felt like that made it look like we were breaking the law or doing something wrong, and that everybody was involved in illegal marijuana. Well, I was never involved in any of that, and I didn't want to be associated with that, so I just kept on calling the Cosmic Cowboy.
Yeah.
But
sorry, go ahead.
the whole just one of the last things, it got to be associated with drugs, and you can remember even Waylon Jennings at one point put out a song called "Don't You Think This Outlaw Thing Done Got Out of Hand." What it really was a rebellion against Nashville and against the establishment of country music, with a kind of country music that was different than the formula they were putting out and controlling through the Grand Ole Opry. And that was very much a factor. It really didn't have that much to do with drugs. But yeah, was there a lot of drugs around? Yes. And that's why I had to get out of Austin. I left there with Colorado in 1974. And by 1975, I had recorded my first album in Colorado at Caribou Ranch, and that was Blue Sky Night Thunder that had Wildfire on it. Okay, I'll shut up now.
No, this is amazing to me. What the beauty of all that is, I think, is how organic it was. It was just a bunch of artists really just trying to find their place, and I see a tie to that, to these younger kids that are just going and producing their music on YouTube and just putting it out on social media and not following the rules of the big corporate music. That's absolutely amazing.
Well, the word outlaw has always been an appealing word in American media, in movies particularly, all the way back to the beginning when they made the first movies. I mean, the first actual movie that went into a theater was a Western called The Great Train Robbery. It was a silent film.
Yeah.
It was about a bunch of outlaws robbing a train.
Yeah.
And that, I think Americans relate to the word outlaw because we were outlaws to England.
Yeah.
We were rebellion. We were rebels.
Right.
And I think the whole rebel image appeals to youth because there's a constant rebellion going on against the establishment of trying to hold people down and tell them what to do.
Yeah.
And in that sense, I like the word outlaw. That's okay. It's the same reason why Jesus was an outlaw at his time.
Absolutely. Sir,
Jesus was literally hung on a cross for being an outlaw.
That's it.
To the laws of the land at the time that they all thought that he was breaking.
Yeah. You're warming the preacher man's heart on this end of the phone. So, absolutely, sir. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time and for your stories. And we really do look forward to meeting you next week, and hopefully I can get back there to shake your hand and enjoy your music.
Real quick, I just want to tell you, the show will be a retro show. In other words, I'm going back to all my hits of the early era, the outlaw era.
Awesome.
And then first half is retro, and the second half is what I've been doing for the last half of my career, which is a lot of Western and a lot of cowboy music. It'll be a combination of both, about 50-50.
I am super excited to hear it, sir.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you next week, and God bless you, brother.
Great to be back in the wild high plains. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Artesia, there you have it. Get out, get your tickets. You can go onto Liberty's website and get those tickets, and go listen to Michael Martin Murphey next week. Man, what an exciting thing to be able to get to interview him and talk to him and hear all those stories. All right, well, let's check in with some of our sponsors.
Do you know what the hardest part of dealing with the roofer is? Just trying to get them on the phone. Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that you can always trust Trustmark Roofing to answer our phone. Need a free roof inspection? Just call us at 575-755-ROOF, and we'll answer with a live person, a real human being. Have a roofing project already going with us and need to discuss it? Just call 575-755-ROOF, and we will answer the phone. No answering machine, no voicemails, and no weird robot automated attendant. That's because at Trustmark Roofing, we're all about relationships and treating people right. That's true for customers and vendors and insurance companies and employees. Anyone and everyone who comes in contact with our company. So if you have any roofing needs at all, trust Trustmark to treat you right and to answer the phone. Our number again is 575-755-ROOF, or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925, we have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency.
Family owned and operated for 4 generations, Forest Tire is here to service all your tire needs day and night. With your busy travel schedule, what you need is a tire that can keep up, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire with an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety you expect. You can lose track of time and focus on what really matters. For all your tire needs, brakes and alignments too, Forest Tire Company is a friend you can always count on. Forest Tire, keeping you rolling since 1944.
For the first time ever, the National Championship Air Races are touching down in Roswell, New Mexico. From September 10th through the 14th, witness the world's best pilots battle it out in the fastest motorsport on the planet. Vintage warbirds, cutting-edge jets, aerobatics, and family fun, all against the stunning New Mexico sky.
3, 2, 1.
Get your tickets now at airrace.org. Don't miss this high-octane spectacle.
Wouldn't you love more quality family time? But everyone has their noses in their phones and tablets. With PVT Experience IQ, you can enjoy screen-free family time. Pause all internet-connected devices to enjoy a board game or talk around the dinner table. With Experience IQ in the PVT Connect IQ app from PVT in Southeast New Mexico, you can enjoy more family time. Visit the PVT website at pvt.com to find out if you can get PVT Internet.
Artesia Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, home-owned and operated for over 50 years, and here for all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Artesia Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has the expertise to install residential, commercial, and industrial air conditioning units, including the conversion of evaporative coolers to refrigerated air systems. Cut cooling costs with high-efficiency Carrier units from Artesia Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, your authorized Carrier dealer. Artesia Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a proud sponsor of the Artesia Bulldogs and our community for over 50 years.
So I make a silly joke about it never raining, and now it seems like it'll never quit. Hi, this is Ben Manette from Russell Seed Company. All this rain is great, but soon the weeds will be waist high and the bugs will be as thick as flies. But here at Roswell Seed, we have just what you need to control the weeds and fend off the bugs before they take over. So come see us at Roswell Seed, and be careful what you joke about. Mother Nature sure has a wicked sense of humor.
All right, welcome back, Artesia. Hey, that right there for me was, I think that's been the highlight of everything I've got to do at this studio right now, is to have a conversation with a guy who, not merely just like a star, you know. Okay, that's one thing, but he's like a legend within the community. I mean, my whole life. I mean, his Wildfire came out the year I was born. You know, I mean, it's really, really cool to get to talk to somebody like that. And so I hope you guys go get your tickets, go to the concert. I think it'll be absolutely amazing concert. You know, he hooked me right when he's like, yeah, we're going to take the first half of the show retro. We're going back to the old school stuff. You know, that Cosmic Cowboy, the outlaw country, man. That's really cool. And so I'm excited to see that. Excited to hear his whatever new stuff he's got coming up. Hey, let's see. I don't have any more guests. It's just kind of you and me for the next 20 minutes. We've got a couple commercial blocks we've got to hit and make sure we get those in there. But just wanted to, I thought we'd look around the internet, see what's going on in the world. Trying to keep up with everything. What in the world? 6 major medical groups, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, just sued the HHS for illegal conduct on vaccine approval. So that'll be interesting. I think in the post says they just walked into his trap. Because I think what they're talking about there is, you know, we talked about this a little bit earlier, is about the whole vaccine issue and all this and that. If they sue him for this, then this all goes to court. Then there's a ton of discovery, right? And the HHS can force a ton of discovery, all the reports, all of the stuff to come out and just uncover and lay bare all the stuff on vaccines. And the outcomes of them and all of this. And so that'll be quite interesting to keep an eye on and watch. What else is going on in the world right now? Talked a little bit on Tuesday. The whole Epstein list thing is blown up in the past week. You know, we've got Pam Bondi and the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, and all of them all of a sudden saying there is no Epstein list. There's really nothing there. He killed himself. All of this is, not a big nothing burger, which is absolute nonsense. The more and more I listen to stuff, people digging into this, if you're aware of it, what that was going on right there with all the sex trafficking and all stuff, this was a huge intelligence game. Is really what was going on. You start to wonder, you watch actions by people in power and you go, why in the world would they do that? That goes against everything they've said and all of this. Like I said, it was an intelligence game, and they were catching people in their sins, recording it and holding on to it, and then utilizing it as leverage to get the things they want. And so I'll encourage you, if you want to know more about that, dig into it and understand how in the world this guy, who was like a tax advisor, and not even that big of a deal, all of a sudden becomes one of the most powerful men in the nation. He's got all the big wigs hanging out with him, flying on his jets, going to private island parties and all of this, when he was a nobody. He really had no influence in and of himself, and all of a sudden he becomes this major influencer, and you start looking at all of that and you're like, man, something else is going on there. So like I said earlier, though, Don't just take my word for it. Don't take anybody's word for it. Go look at the stuff. If you're really interested, you really want to know what's going on, go look for the source documents yourself. Find the proof. And I think that's what we got to do with all this stuff. All the stuff that's like, oh, it's conspiracy theory. Well, why do you believe that? When someone tells you, oh, that's conspiracy theory, ignore it. That's the first thing. That should be your first warning. Like, no, let me go dig into this. Let me start reading and start finding more information and more facts about it. Stay up to date. Stay informed. Don't be swayed by being told you're nuts for believing something. So, hey, let's go ahead and do. We got a couple more commercial breaks. We're going to take one right now, and then we'll come back after that.
With your Pecos Valley news updates, I'm Jared Sorello. A police shooting in Carlsbad remains under investigation by state police. It happened Tuesday as Carlsbad officers were responding to a report of an armed robbery at the Stripes gas station on West Pierce. The responding officers reported seeing a man matching a description given by the clerk near North 6th and West Church Streets. When the officer tried to approach 43-year-old Gerald Barron fled on foot. And during the chase, Barron allegedly reached into a backpack. The officer fired his service weapon after giving numerous commands for the man to stop reaching into the backpack. Barron has since been flown to a hospital in Lubbock, Texas. His updated condition is not known. Splash pads in Roswell at Pokhorn and Carpenter Parks are now open to the public. They're open daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Use of the splash pads, of course, is free. The Murphy family splash pad is at Pokhorn Park in the 600 block of East 2nd Street. And the Carpenter Park splash pad is at 300 East Buena Vista. The splash pads usually open each year around Memorial Day weekend, but the openings this year were delayed as parts were awaited and then installed to repair flood-caused damage. The repairs were recently completed, and the splash pads passed the required inspections, allowing them to open. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
I do believe there has to be a new Israeli doctrine at the end of all of this, that anybody that fires a single rocket into Israel, their new policy will be to obliterate them immediately. They have shown too much concern. I don't think that can be their policy any longer. They have got to immediately respond, and respond overwhelming with devastating force, or this pattern will just continue to play out. But for those that didn't see the wisdom in taking out the number one state sponsor of terrorist nuclear facilities, the entire world, not just the region, would be at risk, including the United States, because their missile capability keeps getting stronger and stronger.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. You know, I've been buying precious metals. Somebody gave me great advice. I'm so grateful every day that I did, and I've been doing it for decades. Every paycheck I get, no matter what, I put aside a portion of money to diversify into precious metals. Now, especially during uncertain times. Remember the 2008 financial crisis? Who do I choose to make my gold and silver purchases with? What company do I now use? Who do I trust? Well, I've been partnering with a great company for 3 years. I am a customer. The company's called Gold Co. Gold Co. will send you right now a free 2025 gold and silver kit to learn more about diversifying with precious metals. Now, this kit from Gold Co. has been a huge help to me. I think you'll learn a valuable lesson. You'll also learn about their unlimited bonus silver offer. You're not going to want to miss out. All you have to do is call, no obligation, 855-815-GOLD, or just go to HannityGold.com. That's 855-815-GOLD, or go to the website HannityGold.com.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot today. We're going into the upper 90s, and we should get sunshine. We do have a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm overnight. We'll be in the low 70s, more heat, and lots of sun on Friday, right around 100 for the afternoon high. For Saturday, we may get a few scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms, slightly cooler with low 90s. We're in the upper 80s on Sunday with a few showers. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Welcome back, Artesia. Hey, I just want to take a couple moments real quick, man. For all the people up in Ruidoso, the people, property owners, the people living up there, people who have lost their lives, man, I want them to know, our prayers are with you. And if you've got family up there, if you know people up there, we're praying for them. I hope that our general region, our community of Southeast New Mexico can gather around those people once again, and help out with whatever we can to take care of stuff up there. Because man, it's just watching the videos, it's almost surreal, with the things that just happened in Texas a week before, it's hard when catastrophe strikes like that, when natural disasters hit. A lot of the question is why God, and we start. And I think the natural instinct is to start looking for people to blame. You've got people, cloud seeding's doing this and that, and I'm not too sure about all that. I've read a few of the reports here and there. My understanding of it is cloud seeding's not really effective, and that a lot of this is due to there was a tropical storm in the Gulf that kind of flowed up into Texas, and then I'm not sure. We've had a heavy rain season. It's just a year with more rain, and unfortunately this is tough, and it's just I think one of the things to be cognizant of, especially if you're on social media, jumping into the blame game immediately and pointing fingers and it's this person's fault, and this is trying to blame people for natural disasters. Man, I don't know that is helpful for people in the moment that are dealing with this, that have lost everything, including family members. So lots of prayers, lots of I hope we can help as best we can in that area and everything they've got going on. And so we continue to pray and lift them up. I found pull up New Mexico news on X and stuff, and I found an interesting thing you might want to look into. A whistleblower suit has come out against the New Mexico General Services Department. Not exactly sure what all they do. I'm trying to understand it. But they deal with complaints and suits against the state of New Mexico and the departments of government and things like that. And a gentleman by the name of Jose Puentes, former state prosecutor and assistant attorney general who served as general counsel for the department before being fired in September, has come out in his complaint and said the office has tons of problems with racism and sexism and everything else going on in there. But I think even more problematic is his allegations that on more than one occasion he was directed to process multi-million-dollar settlements in cases against the state in which the department files contained only bare notice that the state was being sued and zero facts or any underlying investigation. Boy, if any of that's true, I hope they get to the bottom of that. I hope they can dig into that, and I hope, unfortunately, the worry then is, well, who's going to investigate that? If is a federal entity going to step in and do that investigation, or are we going to leave it to the state that was already committing this fraudulent stuff for them to investigate themselves? So that's going to be an interesting case to follow. We'll keep an eye on that the best we can, because that's problematic. When we look at a state like ours, where financially we're already struggling, we're in the bottom of almost every single list across the nation, in education, quality of life, you name it. This state we love, the city we love, and we've got all these problems at our government level. I commend the guy if there's truth in what he's saying, and we always have to say the if he's telling the truth in his allegations. Man, that would be kind of groundbreaking to find out that there's this kind of corruption going on at the state level, and we've got to figure that out, and we've got to weed out any kind of corruption, because we've already got problems, and in order to improve the lives of our citizens, the lives of our people, we've got to deal with this. All right, hey, I'm going to go to one more commercial break, and we'll come back and we'll wrap the show up.
Some wounds need expert care to heal properly. At Artesia General Hospital's Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine Center, we use advanced treatments like hyperbaric oxygen therapy to help chronic wounds heal faster. If you or a loved one has a wound that won't heal, call 575-736-8235 today and take the first step toward recovery.
Have you spent a lot of time trying to whiten your teeth with no real success? Here at Carabelli Dental, we have a solution. Get that perfect smile you've always wanted with veneers. Veneer treatment is quick and minimally invasive and will provide you with a confident smile in just a couple easy steps. You deserve to love your smile, so don't let another day pass you by without calling us to start the smile design process.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455.
Incredible in Artesia is open for business, ready to give you the hometown quality and customer service you know and love. Georgia and her team specialize in in-house design for quality custom business cards at a competitive price. From scanning to desktop publishing, if you need it, they can do it. On Main Street across from the Derek Floor statue in downtown Artesia. For all your printing needs, think Incredible.
I'm David. I work for Chevron, and this is my New Mexico. The beautiful skies, the perfect day of fishing on the Pecos River. It doesn't get any better than that. Conserving the natural beauty in New Mexico, it's important to me. Working for a company that values that, that's one of the things I love about Chevron.
Learn more at chevron.com/David.
The Artesia Historical Museum and Arts Center now has their very own website. Visit artesiamuseum.org to stay up to date on events and exhibits. Look through historical photos of Artesia, submit research requests, and more. For information, please call 575-748-7345. Stop by the Artesia Historical Museum and Arts Center at 505 West Richardson Avenue or online at artesiamuseum.org. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 4. This ad paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
Dreaming of your perfect home? Ramona and Roger Kilpatrick at RE/MAX Axiom invite you to discover the joy of making that dream come true. As agents deeply rooted in Artesia and the surrounding area, they bring years of combined experience and a true passion for real estate. Whether you're buying or selling, Ramona and Roger's friendly and approachable nature ensures you feel right at home, making every step of the process enjoyable. Visit RE/MAXNMAxiom.com to see the latest listings or stop by their office in Artesia at 402 West Main, Suites D and E. RE/MAX Axiom, where your dream home becomes reality.
Hawker & Sons of Artesia, a company specializing in excavation and construction, is proud to support and provide construction services to the people and businesses of Eddy County and the surrounding area. With their expert knowledge of the industry, Hawker & Sons is well equipped to offer top-level service and professionalism to all oil field businesses, commercial and private parties with excavation and construction needs. Call Hawker & Sons today at 575-365-3175 or visit their website at hawkerandsons.com. Go Bulldogs!
The 90th anniversary celebration at the Ocotillo in Artesia is still going on, and the biggest event is about to happen. Wild West Fest is Friday and Saturday, July 18th and 19th, with New Mexico favorite Michael Martin Murphy, Friday the 18th. And a sunset concert on Roselawn with JD and the Badlands, Saturday the 19th.
Keep slinging them bottles like a pistol arrow.
For ticket info and more, log on to ArtesiaArtsCouncil.com. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
All right, welcome back, Artesia. Hey, we got about a minute and a half, just 2.5 minutes. There we go. Thanks for joining us today. We really, really appreciate it. And I want to kind of circle back to where I began. You know, we read from Psalm 51 today. David's song of confession, and I talked a little bit at the beginning of the show about the answer, if you will, to rebuilding a nation, to restoring a nation, reforming a nation, begins at the individual level, and it begins with repentance, turning away from our sins. When we look at the scope of what's going on in the world, all of the things we find problematic, all of the things we're struggling with, all the things that seemingly dragging our society down are sin. They're sinful things. And the answer to sin, of course, is repentance and forgiveness, right? The sinner, the one committing the act, repenting, seeking forgiveness from God, seeking forgiveness for the people he sinned against, and turning away from it, right? Remember, repentance is not just confession. Repentance is not just feeling grief over our sins. No, repentance is turning away from them and going another direction, going the direction God has told us that we should go and how we should live. And it begins at the individual level, the family level. But remember, there's a concept in Scripture of corporate repentance as well, and that's what we're seeking after. We're seeking after the corporate repentance of all facets of our life, all facets of our society, and that only happens through a movement of God. So, how do we get there? How do we address that? And that's going to be through prayer, fasting, and seeking after God's hand of blessing. And if we want God's blessing, then we need to turn back to Him. He says, "Turn to me, and you'll be my people, and I'll be your God." And that's our hope and our prayer for this nation. Artesia, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we'll see you next week.